All right. Almost all New Orleans police are on looter patrol. That's the latest.
Looter.
That's the latest headline from Fox News.
They've taken them off of the search and rescue, the cops, and put them on looter detail.
Looter, is that how they're spelling it now?
Looter. And there's a little headline in the paper today with a cop standing there with a gun, with a scope on it, and it says, "You loot, I shoot." Nice, it rhymes.
There's a lot of those signs going up. I saw another one.
Yeah.
All looters will be shot.
Be shot.
And there's a guy just sitting in front of his place. I don't know if it's a business or whatever.
Yep.
With a shotgun just waiting.
We got one of the cops actually talking to one of the looters.
Go ahead, go and leave. I pardon you.
Now, that's not going to get the job done.
It is just an absolute mess down there still.
Yes.
And the looters are just slowly but surely, moving out from downtown.
They said they're moving into more populated areas, and that seemed to be the problem. They got to nip it in the bud, as they say.
Well, these people at this point will do just about anything to get out of New Orleans.
You get a little brave and brazen, I think. If you're roaming around a really desolate, abandoned city, and you've pretty much stolen everything you can, you might get together with your band of merry men and decide, let me go to the outskirts a little. I'll push a little further. We could start going into some of these houses maybe and lifting some stuff. And you kind of build up almost a momentum, Yeah. You want to get out there and steal some more and get some more goods while the getting's good, And they want to stop that, so they've put the cops on looter detail.
Well, a lot of carjackings going on, too.
Yeah, that's another thing.
And most of those people are just trying to get a car to get the hell out.
Trying to get out. Bus pulled up to the Astrodome in Houston where they're taking the Superdome people last night, and they weren't ready for them. They're like, well, they're not even supposed to be here. It was a bus that was just kind of taken by some people. There was a 20-year-old guy driving the bus, people in the back, and they just decided they heard that the Astrodome was taking refugees, so they just drove there. God knows where he got the bus, how he got it started, where the driver is, laying on the side of a road somewhere.
Amazing.
But it's one of those survival of the fittest situations right now. You can't look in from your house sitting there watching television at night and think, oh, that's awful, or they shouldn't do that, or you should have done this, unless you're put in this situation. This is do stuff or die. So you're not going to sit there and go, well, it might not be right for me to go into that grocery store and take some of the food or take some clothing or whatever. And you just can't think like that because it's you either do it or you die. That's it.
What about these news guys? You got to think they're in a lot of danger at this point.
I saw Shep on Fox last night talking to some pretty pissed off people. He's standing on a highway that just kind of goes right into the water. And he's standing, he had a great spot. It was a spot where people had been trudging through water for hours on end, maybe even days, a couple of days or a day. And this is the first dry land they've come to. So they've just been trudging through this water. They step up onto this highway. They're finally dry out of this thing. And there's Shepard Smith shoving a microphone in their face going, how do you feel?
How do you feel?
How do you feel? The people were pissed. And I was thinking, one woman was, like, eyeing him to the side, like, oh, she's going to crack him over the head with something. A little dangerous, I think, for the news people.
I saw Shepard Smith. He was trying to do one of his reports, and there were a few people behind him, and you could tell he was very uncomfortable that they were right behind him.
Well, that probably happens anyway.
Because these guys look like they meant business, and they were debating if they should, mug him there on live TV.
Yeah.
He might have something that might help him in this situation.
They were. As a matter of fact, I think they were going to jump him, and then one guy chimed in.
Go ahead, go and leave.
Well, I got the latest headlines in front of me as far as this whole mess goes.
Yeah.
The exodus from the Superdome to the Houston Astrodome has begun. I believe some of the buses have started to arrive in Houston. Temporary move, obviously, although the Astrodome is available until December.
Yeah, their schedule's cleared till December, but, I can't see. Where are these people going to
go? And what happens at the Houston Astrodome in December? What is more important? That's what I want to know. That it's only available until December.
It's probably some electronics convention or something stupid like that. Something we're going to be at.
It's probably where the Trekkies are going to be. And
Star Trek.
They got to clear out the people by December.
Sorry.
Where are the Astros going to play? I mean, obviously they're still in the middle of the season. They moved them to where? Did anybody know?
No, don't they have another stadium?
Yeah, they got a new stadium.
The Houston Astrodome has just been kind of sitting there, the old one.
They use it
built
for
40 years ago,
conventions or other little things that happen in the city.
They don't know what to do with it. Supposedly they were just going to, destroy it or whatever.
Knock it
down and make it a parking lot or whatever. But I think they play right next door in a new stadium with one of those roofs that kind of...
The sliding roof.
They're gonna make Astrodome IDs. You have to have it's gonna be like a little community.
Well, they said it's gonna be a refugee camp that's almost like a small city. They're bringing in a hospital facility.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
22,000 cots. I thought that's where you were going.
Yeah, they're gonna have cots, so you're gonna have something that amounts to a hotel, a hospital, restaurants. They're gonna have to use the two locker rooms in the place to get 20,000 people showered on some type of schedule, which just seems incomprehensible. All the food that's got to be brought in, the water. This is a pretty huge undertaking. There was a family that drove up last night. They finally got out of Louisiana, out of New Orleans, drove to the Astrodome, and were turned away because they said that they are just taking Superdome people. So if you're resourceful enough to have gotten out and driven over to the Astrodome, they wouldn't let you in. If you actually went to the Superdome and went in there, you would have gotten in. Wow. I guess it's a reward for the hell that those people have had to go through for a couple of days.
Couldn't you just lie and say we came from the Superdome, but the guy was out there and wouldn't let us? They go, what? You go, no, come on, we were just trying to go, but the guy was
there.
Like,
my friend back there, he'll talk to you. They pulled up in a car, I guess, and they wouldn't let him in because they're only taking Superdome people.
Anyone scalping tickets, you think?
I got two.
I need a miracle.
Yeah.
Let's say hi to Mark in Oklahoma City. Mark, what's going on?
Hi, guys. Hi, Big Daddy. I was wondering if you guys saw that news clip. I think it was on MSNBC. I can't remember the reporter's name, where he caught the two lady cops looting.
Really?
Yeah. And one of they were walking down. I think they were walking down.
I heard about this just to break in, because I know Mark likes to babble like a motherfucker.
Not today.
You've been with us and no, it's all right. Hold on a minute. We're gonna have a conversation for once. Mark's been with us from day one, and he just likes to talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. I guess there is video they shot of looters, and they have. There was in this particular incident, they had cops actually looting along with the people.
What were they looting?
I don't remember.
Was it food or merchandise?
Huh?
A TV, the cops
shoes
stole a plasma TV or something?
Plasma TV.
Yeah, or something like that.
That's not, that's inexcusable.
Maybe he was hungry.
A plasma television.
The reporter asked her what she was doing, and she said, my job. And he said, oh, to take shoes?
Oh, boy.
And she didn't say nothing. And then it sounded like the lady cops tried to turn it around on the reporter, like, what are you doing in here?
Right.
Well, that would be the response you would have to give. You know, you're completely guilty. They snagged you. What are you doing here? No, what are you doing?
Right.
Well, she got me.
Scott in Ohio, what's up?
What's up, Opie?
Hey.
Hello, Squat.
Anthony, you're an asshole.
All right. Please explain, sir.
These fucking people were supposed to get the hell out of Dodge before the hurricane hit. Now you feel sorry for them?
Well, it's very hard not to feel bad for some of these people. Not all of them, but some of them, you know.
Well, I agree. The people that couldn't get out, I understand. But half these goddamn idiots could have got out well before.
I agree. I agree with you. I've seen a lot of the news clips of a lot of young, very healthy-looking men that could have gotten out some way, somehow could have gotten out of that city. Decided not to.
Young, healthy men who are doing all the looting.
Well, but there are some people that you see, very old people. People with kids that it's really hard for them to get out of the city. What are you going to do, you know?
Well, if you've got kids, you find a way to get out of the city.
Yeah, I know. That's what I said.
You don't put your kids in harm's way.
No. Is there a woman in Louisiana that is over the age of 12 and under 400 pounds?
It's awful.
I have been watching the news. I'm stunned. Every guy is rail thin, and every woman is 400 pounds. I have never seen so many overweight, obese women in my life. It's all going on down there. They must eat horribly. Just horrible food down
Some
there.
of that good Southern cooking.
Southern food, all fried and have fat backs, and I don't know what the hell they're eating there, but I didn't see one woman over the age of like 12 that was under 400 pounds.
All right, more of the headlines.
Poor helicopters.
More of the headlines, guys. Displaced children are being accepted into Texas schools.
Yep.
Because they got to get these kids in school. Search and rescue teams have only been able to access about half of the places affected by Katrina.
Yeah.
So they haven't even begun to see the rest of the damage and see if there's anybody around still that may be alive. 100 people dead in Biloxi. That is way low, obviously. Waveland, Mississippi has essentially been wiped off the map. No buildings have been left standing whatsoever in Waveland, Mississippi. Infected floodwaters can cause illness through the pores. It does not have to be ingested. By the way, you and I heard the same creep. That guy. I hate that guy.
That creep Michael Baden.
Michael Baden.
The coroner that does that HBO show. Oh, what a ghoul he is.
What a ghoul, man. Nothing affects this guy. It's like, ugh.
His whole life is about death.
Yeah, he talks about creepy death like we would talk about, I don't know, porno.
Oh, the ball game or something.
Right.
You know, you might have seen him on HBO. He had those autopsy specials on HBO, and they're very entertaining to watch, you know. Very informative, but just creepy, and he is such a ghoul.
Oh, and you know what's funny is the maggots in the body. I said, let me look in the maggots because that will tell me what the person ate. All right, thank you.
Did you see the one where he talked about the serrations in the French fry from the restaurant they were at, and it was in the woman's stomach or something? And when we pulled the French fries out of her stomach. Oh, jeez, you ghoul.
How does he do an NPR show?
What the hell fell?
What fell, Jimmy?
The bottom panel just fell on my foot.
Oh, no.
The
catastrophe. We're going to have to evacuate the studio. It's coming apart.
We're going to have to get a lawyer.
Oof. Oh, you hurt your knee?
Wow. Well,
that ghoul was talking about the impact that all these floodwaters are going to have on people and the disease and that's going to sprout up and how many people are going to die. Oh, it was just creepy.
It really was creepy. You know this guy does autopsies without Vicks or any of that crap.
No, nothing.
He's just taking very deep breaths as he cuts away at the body.
He's the one that kind of smirks at the rookie that comes in and has to vomit in the sink.
Yeah, like,
you kid.
You rookie.
You're nothing. Wait till I take the top of his skull off.
All right, road closures, obviously, emergency phone numbers. All right, that's all we have for now. Okay.
Yeah, they're saying that it could get in your pores and cause infection, but they're also saying that there's going to be a big problem with people not drinking fresh water or eating good food. And the first symptoms that are going to pop up is, of course, diarrhea. So you're going to have a lot of people with diarrhea all over the city.
Just crapping in the streets.
Just taking a dump wherever you can. That's what they're doing now. There are no toilets. So you got about 100,000 people taking dumps where? I would hate to be outside that Superdome because they're just finding wherever they can and squatting to take a dump.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
Nasty.
All right, let's say hi to Pete. Supposedly he's in New Orleans. Pete, what's up?
Hey, man, it's Steve. What's up?
What are you doing, buddy?
We are helping with all this shit over here. It's fucking crazy, man.
You
Talking about shitting everywhere. There's piss under the bridge. It sucks. It really sucks.
It sucks.
Are you helping with the relief effort?
Yeah, we got here yesterday, and we started triaging and taking people off the helicopters. I don't know what's been on the news, but we're under that building with all the broken-ass glass, the real tall blue glass building, Causeway and I-10. And, man, it's fucking crazy over here. They got firefighters and cops shooting people, people shooting cops. I mean, it's nuts.
The cop did get shot when he came up on some looters.
They got firefighters just shooting people, so they started bringing in the body bags this morning, so we don't know what we're going to be doing yet.
How are you calling?
I'm on my friend's cell phone, actually. He's about the only one that works down here. There's only a few of them that even work over here.
Well, okay, Pete.
All right, buddy.
Thank you very much.
All right, man. Y'all have a good one.
All right, thank you. Let's see.
I'm such a skeptic. Like, how'd you call? You liar. He could be in there up to his waist in crap helping people, and I'm like, you're a liar.
Doing the right thing?
Yeah.
Is he really doing the right thing when he's calling his favorite radio show instead of doing something?
Yeah, and you know he's not listening to the show, so does he have the number on his friend's cell phone?
I don't know.
Did he remember the number? Is it like I don't believe him.
Yeah. Well, our fine president had this to say about the disaster yesterday.
Right now, the days seem awfully dark for those affected. I understand that.
Right.
But I'm confident that with time, you get your life back in order.
Sure.
New communities will flourish. The great city of New Orleans will be back on its feet. And America will be a stronger place for it.
Oh, shut up.
He was very inspirational, though, because he said something which I really didn't expect. He said that we're going to overcome this challenge.
Exactly.
Sorry, Jimmy.
No, it's you. It did sound like this was more of a quote, but he said this is a challenge, and we're going to overcome it.
I think these people are going to be overwhelmed when they see how America is coming to their aid.
Yeah, that's going to overwhelm him. Yeah. The guy is just a dolt.
You know what? And he talked yesterday at 5 o'clock, I guess, Eastern Time.
Yeah.
So he had all day to prepare that speech. You know, every word was picked perfectly.
Uh-huh.
It's like, when something like this happens, we need a leader in America. We haven't had one of these in a really long time, where they just jump on TV immediately and just start talking.
Right.
Not a prepared speech where you could tell he had speech writers like, all right, let's say this, we'll say this way.
We need some words of inspiration.
Right.
First.
Right.
And then I need to talk about FEMA.
Why did he have to wait till 5 o'clock to get on TV to talk to the nation?
Ridiculous.
Something like this, there should be a camera in his face immediately, and he talks to America. Just talks.
Yeah, like
we
old
need someone
Ronnie.
that just needs, that could get on TV and just talk.
Remember Ronnie Reagan?
Without speech writers and all that crap.
He could do that. Well, the president got a first-hand look at the devastation, Opie. With the gas prices up to what? $5, $5.50.
They're gonna say they're saying $5.
There's a huge fuel shortage, and the president decided to tour the disaster site in a 747 for a half an hour. Do you know how much fuel a 747 burns at about 2,700 feet, flying slow and low? It just would burn a huge amounts of fuel. And there he is.
Take her around again.
To do what? To look down and go,
That sure looks flooded. That looks, wet.
Like, it's what we see every day on Fox and CNN. There is nothing that he could have seen that was different than what we saw already. But he decides to take probably the most fuel-inefficient plane and fly it in the most inefficient configuration over the disaster. Fuel that might have been used, I don't know, generators, things like that could have really made a difference. But he did that and gave another worthless speech. Just stop it already. The guy has me so annoyed, so aggravated. Why don't you go to the OPEC countries and use a little muscle there? Why don't you do that? Could you get him to just increase production? These friggin' savages over there are it costs them $4 a barrel to produce their oil. $4 a barrel over there. And we're buying it for over $70 a barrel. And now we're up to $5.70 for gas in Atlanta, and this guy has done nothing about the gas prices. Nothing. Another great speech last night. Zero.
All right, let's say hi to RJ in Westchester. RJ!
Hey, what's going on, boys?
Hey, man.
Listen, did anyone else catch the difference between CNN and Fox News last night? Especially during what you were talking about with the, when, what's his name, Shepard Smith was talking to the people and they were looking for the help and they were blasting FEMA up and down saying how much this government sucks and how they're not doing anything. You switched over to Fox at the exact same time. They were kissing the government's ass. They're there, we're here with people and they're giving out help right now and we're trying to help. I was just wondering if anyone else caught the difference.
Really?
The only thing The other thing I noticed on Fox, and I think it was Shepard Smith, when he kept bringing attention to the fact that there's a lot of people here, and he kept giving us a location, he kept saying they have no idea what to do. So he was which I kind of liked the fact that he was focusing on the fact that nobody was doing anything about this group of people. So I didn't catch that.
I agree with you guys. I don't want to interrupt, but I just want to throw out there at the same time. Don't forget, we're talking about areas that are considered disaster areas. I mean, unless they're going to hella drop food in, it's not like they can just roll up, the food trucks.
Yeah.
Now, people are actually on that highway that you were talking about where Shepard Smith was. They had come out of projects, and there's hundreds of people that were on this bridge, and they had nowhere to go because the bridge at both ends, I guess, goes into the water. So they're just kind of up there waiting for something to happen. Who knows what?
Shepard Smith has been very impressive through this whole thing.
Yeah, I hate the Shep.
Yeah, I never really enjoyed the Shep before this.
Can't stand the Shep, but the Shep's been doing a good job.
But they go to him, and he's like, this is how it is. Boom, 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 boom,
Boys, I'm punching out. Thanks for the time.
All right. Know who I don't like is Rita Cosby. Oh, with that voice. Rita Cosby on MSNBC. It's uncomfortable to listen to her because she's struggling. She's got like a polyp or something in her throat.
You're watching MSNBC for coverage?
Dude, I flip everywhere.
Yeah, I can't stand the MSNBC.
As soon as someone goes to commercial or if someone goes to one of those dopey experts, I'm out.
Yeah.
No, I was flipping like all over the place.
I'm pretty much Fox and CNN.
Yeah, you got to go MSNBC every once in a while, though. And Rita Cosby's there.
Yeah, I've heard her.
Struggling with every word. What the hell is wrong with you?
It's great to see some of the chick newscasters losing it, though. They send them down there, and I saw one at a shelter last night, and she was talking to some 80-year-old woman about how she was brought into the shelter, and she said, do you have a bed? And she goes, well, I didn't till about 11 o'clock. They brought me and this old 80-year-old woman, these wrinkled old eyes just start welling up and turning red with tears. And the news girl that was there just starts crying with her. She turns around and tries to do her little outro and throw it back. And she's just like shaking and ready to burst out crying. And then, of course, she throws it to the ice brick that is Greta Van Susteren. And she just not a touch of him. Well, thank you very much for that in-depth interview with... Meanwhile, there's probably tears coming down the back of her head from her facelift.
I was going to say, she's very sad somewhere in that facelift.
I'm so upset right now. You could see me crying if you looked at the back of my neck.
Greta always looks like she's going...
Come here. You want to buy a Rolex?
She is a tough broad.
Oh, the ice brick. She is just emotionless.
She should be down there right there standing knee-deep in that swamp just asking those people why they're looting. That's the type of stuff she does. She would just stick a microphone in some young kid's face. Why are you stealing this? It doesn't belong to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's say hi to Rob in Georgia. Rob.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, Rob.
Hey, gas prices, $6.05, and they limit you to 10 gallons.
Where's that?
Down in Georgia. We were passing through on our way through to Louisiana from New York.
Atlanta.
How are these fucking... How are we paying this much for oil? They can't give us a break this time?
No, there's no breaks to be given.
It's fucking ridiculous. They can, in fucking a drop of a hat, they can change all this, and they don't.
Do something. My God. Just do something. Bush is...
It's come down to fucking rioting. That's all it is.
No one's doing anything. We've watched gas prices go up. We watched the price of oil go up over the past few months. How long has it been that we've really been shocked by this increase in oil? And no one in this country has done shit to remedy the problem or even attempt to remedy the problem. No one's doing anything. Why, in all the months that are going by, has this administration done nothing to help out getting these prices down? What's the answer? I don't know. What the fuck do I know? But that ain't my job. My job's to come on here and point out that nothing is being done. Nothing. OPEC is not pumping out at maximum. It is not. Stop it. Where's George getting his info? George, where are you getting your info about OPEC?
I work in the oil industry.
Yes. What do you do?
I work for a drilling company.
Uh-huh.
Here's the situation. OPEC, if you recall, there was a meeting OPEC had about 4 or 5 months ago, and one of the oil ministers made the comment that he says, we could be pumping out max capacity every day, but there's not the refining capability. OPEC's maximum capacity is 11 million barrels a day. Right now, they are at 9.5 million barrels a day because they can't go anymore because there's no place to put the oil. Now, I know, Anthony, you talk a lot about knowing a lot about stocks and whatnot. Do you read the Wall Street Journal?
Fuck no.
I do. It's good.
I do everything online, my
very
friend.
Funny.
Well, there was an article in yesterday's Wall Street Journal that was talking about the refining process. Right now in Arizona, there's a group of investors that has been trying for 10 years to get a refinery built. And between the EPA and the fucking environmentalists, they have stalled the process to the point of where these guys are ready to give up. There has not been a new refinery built in the United States in almost 30 years.
Yeah, that I have heard.
The other thing is, I'll give you an example here in down the road here in Colorado, the Conoco refinery, one of the largest in the region. They have only been running at 60% capacity for 2 years because they are retrofitting, and it's going to be another 2 years before they're done. So they're not even running at capacity. Conoco in the Rocky Mountain region right now has the highest gas prices. They went up 40 cents a gallon yesterday in a span of an hour and a half.
Well, now, didn't the EPA waive some regulations? Why can't we crank these friggin' things up to 100 and start pumping out some oil?
And they can, but I mean, like we have this refinery that they're only running at 50% capacity because they're in a retrofit, and they can't pump anymore. They can't go any faster because they're retrofitting. I mean, half of their stuff is offline. I mean, the refineries that are able to run at full capacity right now are running at full capacity, and that is one good thing, is that the EPA stepped in and waived these rules, which
someone's
is
got to do
going
something.
to allow fuel that, like they brought up yesterday, fuel that would normally only be sold in New York, they could sell in Chicago now, and vice versa.
So I disagree, though, with that one part of what you said.
What's that, Jimmy?
It was a few minutes ago.
Which point would that be, Jimmy? Come on.
The thing about the drills, I don't know if I buy that.
Drills.
That they got lost.
Well, George sounds very informed. Thank you, sir.
Well, like I said, I work in this industry. I've been in this industry for quite a while.
All right, George.
Well, then we got to do something to allow them to crank up these refineries then and build some more of them.
And that's just it. We do. But you've got the environmental lobby that's sitting there saying, oh, you can't do
Well,
this.
you know what? Then get somebody in charge that has some balls to tell these guys to go fuck themselves like old Ronnie Reagan did years ago. Whenever someone would come up and say to Ron, you can't do that because these people don't want these, he'd say, go fuck yourself and do it anyway.
And then he'd have a piece of himself cut off.
Right.
And that's what we need to do. But, we don't have anybody that has those kind of balls.
We don't have a strong leader.
Well, but, even if we had a strong leader, it wouldn't matter because the environmental lobby is so powerful anymore.
Fuck them. No, it doesn't matter. The guys in charge make things happen. Get the refineries pumping. Don't make a fucking maniac out of me.
All right, George.
And that'd be a great thing.
All right, this just in. Kevin Green from Whackbag. Alan Sniffen won't be happy that you're talking about oil refineries.
It's not what people want to hear from Opie and Anthony.
XM didn't pay them to talk about. It's all about the subscriptions. No one agrees with you. Yeah, I know, but I'm going to keep saying it.
Yeah, this is a perfect day to take the wiffle ball bat and shove it up some girl's twat.
Delete thread.
Yeah, I want to make a quick comment here on something.
Okay, sweet angel.
Yesterday, Steve was talking about his hybrid, about the batteries.
Yeah.
I hope Steve realizes that in the event of an accident, the batteries rupture, he is going to get presented with a hazardous materials cleanup bill from his local, from the authorities in New York or any other state.
Steve has entered the studio. Hi,
There's
Steve.
Steve.
What's going on?
I
like how he hovered in.
Yeah.
Steve, shut your vehicle off.
What are you doing?
Steve. All right.
Now, listen, the guy, why won't the pandas make?
Go ahead, Steve.
No, did you know about this? That's hazardous?
I heard the first half of it. He said, I'm going to get, there's some hazard. Okay, go ahead.
What the situation is, and I had to find this out firsthand from a friend of mine in California, because of the battery that's in your car.
And that's secondhand?
Yeah.
Wait, I just want to get that straight, sir. First hand from a friend, isn't that secondhand?
All right, second.
Okay, so you have this information secondhand.
There has been stuff that has come out industry-wide about this. These vehicles, these hybrids with these batteries, if you're in an accident in which the battery is ruptured, it becomes a hazardous materials cleanup. You will be billed for that hazardous materials cleanup, and your insurance company will not cover it.
Sir, isn't oil, gas, and other things hazardous?
Yeah, I was going to say.
If you have an accident in a regular...
It's a different circumstances.
I don't know about that. I mean,
what if your own battery ruptures in an accident?
It has to do with the type of battery. California was the first state to start this, and it's moving across
California.
the country.
I don't think that's going to hinder people from wanting to buy hybrids and pay less for gas.
Probably won't, but you get a bill for $25,000 or $50,000 hazardous material cleanup.
It's interesting. I don't know about that, but...
All right.
I've heard of quite a few cases of this happening. So.
But what about...
All right, George.
Thank you.
Watch out, boys.
Thanks a lot, Killjoy.
Yeah, really. Thanks for making 10,000 of our listeners go to Deep Tracks.
Including me and Fan.
Yeah.
Tim, what's going on?
Steve's leaving.
Hey, there you go.
Hi, Steve.
Tim.
I'm going to call shenanigans on George. I work for ConocoPhillips Refining. And, they're using the capacity issue as a crutch. It's not really that. About 3 years ago, we get financial statements of what the company's earnings are because it's based in our contract. But 3 years ago, we were making about $1.5 million a day profit. And as of,
oh boy,
6 months ago, we were making about $3.5 million.
Hey, Jeremy in D.C. Jeremy.
Hey, I was just wondering if you've seen the front page of the Washington Post today.
Yeah.
You did? Oh, there's a huge picture of...
No, I was just, as in go.
There's a huge picture of an older white guy carrying a younger black man in, his 30s, carrying a wife across the threshold. He's a perfectly healthy-looking guy, the one who's being carried. You can't tell until you read the caption that he can't walk. But if you look at the picture, it just looks like either he doesn't want to get his feet wet or he enjoys being carried around by older white gentlemen. I mean, it's supposed to be some touching picture of people helping each other out, but this has to be completely embarrassing to these two people, especially after this is over.
You're saying that because the way the photo is presented, it looks almost homoerotic. It doesn't show what's actually going on.
Yes.
Right.
Well, now you got to take a look at that photo.
Wrong with them.
Get that photo quick and zoom in on the feet. No, don't ask questions.
All right, Jeremy, thank you.
All
right. Missing the point. Ira on Long Island. Go ahead, Ira.
Hey, guys, you're all missing the point. George Bush is a fucking Texan. All his money is from Texan. All his friends in Texas. Every time they go into the reserves, they lower the price of oil. Who's that hurt?
Wait, sir, did you just say all his friends are Texas? This money is Texan?
It's all his money is Texan.
Slow down, nervous
all his
Nelly.
Money backing. All the money that got him elected. All his buddies. Where'd he come from? It's Texas.
He's not from Texas. The Bushes are actually from Maine.
Well, I'm talking about where's his political base from.
I know, you were right, actually. You shouldn't correct yourself, sir. I was kidding.
Thanks a lot, little Jimmy. I appreciate that.
It is an odd little conflict of interest, but I'm not. The only thing that keeps me from chiming in on that argument is the fact that the ridiculous liberals have jumped on that so many times. It's kind of taken the credibility out of that whole statement.
But the problem is now it's coming to fruition. It's happening.
Yeah.
Now it's happening. Plus, the other thing that really pissed me off, I live on the island. And I just passed the gas station you guys would know, right on Nichols Road and the Expressway.
Of course.
I think Opie did an appearance there once. He was washing windshields and giving out sandwiches.
I gave out roses at that location, yes.
Gas price there is $3.79 a gallon. And then there's another one right on Motor Parkway, $3.69 a gallon. The price isn't supposed to increase until they get their next delivery, their last delivery.
Yeah.
Everybody on Long Island got a delivery today?
Whatever's in their tanks underneath that gas station, they paid a certain amount of money for, and that's it. All of a sudden, they're jacking it up as if they're paying the new price for it.
Right, and nobody is saying anything about this. They're just sitting there gouging. They're making an extra $1 a gallon, and nobody's saying a word.
Yeah.
You make a good point, Ira.
Not right.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
All right, we got the latest audio from Bush. Bush was just on Good Morning America.
Good morning,
Oh, he
America.
must have been so inspirational.
Good morning.
Well, the theme here is he doesn't really give any answers to questions.
Of course he doesn't.
And we'll start with Bush talking about rising gas prices.
Gas prices going up at the pumps.
Yeah.
We've seen in Atlanta the lines backing up, and some of the prices are going up to $4, $5. First of all, what do you want to say about what is the government putting in place?
Could she be good? By the way, how bummed is Kerry right now?
Oh, yeah.
This would have got him in office, no problem.
I would have won.
With
If
gas going up
only the
like
gas
that's all it would
prices.
have taken to have a new president. The gas prices going through the roof like this,
Yeah.
Kerry would have been in, whether you like it or not.
How nervous is this whore? The gas, the prices. Some people just put it in a car.
I'm the president. I'm the United States, chef of the future.
She stinks.
Diane Sawyer.
Nellie nervous.
Is that Diane Sawyer?
Oh, yeah.
Jesus.
Pretty big interview.
I was smoother with Geezer and Bill than she is with him.
You're
doing phenomenal.
Phenomenal work.
Something about gas, something with gas.
Yeah, you get with gas, filling them all with gas. Why ask people about gas?
Paying a lot at the pumps, a lot of money at the pumps. You got to get to the pumps. How are they going to get to the pumps?
Something there, gas, yeah.
Well, terror is phenomenal. Good point, sir.
Phenomenal.
Here's Diane Sawyer and our leader.
Gas prices going up at the pumps. We've seen in Atlanta the lines backing up, and some of the prices are going up to $4, $5. First of all, what do you want to say about what is the government putting in place to guard against price gouging? And then also, is this a time to call on Americans simply to pull back, not use the gas, pull back and stay at home and save the gas for those who are in dire need?
Well, first of all, you're right. We ought to conserve more. And I would hope Americans conserve when they, if given a choice. Secondly, we've done some things to help on the gas price. First of all, people got to understand 8 refineries are down. Those are the factory that manufactures the gasoline.
What?
Also, crude pipelines are down, and crude platforms.
Hold on. Yeah, they're down. I understand. For the past couple of days. What about the 6 months leading up to the hurricane, my friend? Why have the gas prices been going crazy? For all those months. Has nothing to do with the hurricane. Stop it.
He called it the factory that makes the gasoline.
Factory.
You couldn't have sounded stupider saying that.
The store where the gasoline comes from.
The factory that makes the gasoline.
Oh, you know,
Press the button, pull the chain, out come talk to the choo-choo train.
You know, as people behind the
Crude.
scenes are just panicking, going, "Oh my God, we have no choice. We have to get this guy on live TV. We can't prepare a nice speech for him that he could read in front of the
Without a
American people."
speech, he is lost.
And crude platforms are down. So we've done the following things. One, we've released oil from the SPRO, the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, to help on the crude supply. Secondly, we got rid of some of the EPA regulations on blended fuel, which will mean there will be more fuel available not only domestically but also imported fuel. In other words, some fuels can't be used at this time of the season because of EPA regulations, so we suspended it. And hopefully that'll have some relief on price.
All right, well,
There's nothing there about what he's going to do about gas prices in the long term.
we got some more.
Ben, why?
Some people have said that the oil companies themselves should simply forfeit some of their profits in this time of national crisis.
Slow down.
A conservative commentator, popular one, called last night for 20% reduction in the profits. Do
Well,
you
what I'd
call
like
on
to
them
see is
for
corporate America make sure that they contribute to helping these victims, that there be an outpouring of contributions.
What the? No, she asked you, what did you think about the oil companies cutting their profits by 20% to get the price down? Not about corporate America giving money to the victims. Stop it. He cannot answer a fucking question. God, is that annoying?
Yeah, they won't take a price cut, will they? They won't lose anything on the profit margin, scumbags.
No.
He's got prepared points that he'll get to no matter what question is asked.
To make sure that they contribute to helping these victims, that there be an outpouring of contributions for the relief efforts. And it's not only short-term contributions for food and medicine. And I'll urge people to give cash.
Where's the answer?
Not to send food, not to send blankets, but to send cash to the Red Cross or the Salvation Army or the charitable a charity of their choice, so long as they designate their funds for hurricane relief. But there's going to be a long-term need too to help these people get back on their feet.
But I asked about the oil companies giving up 20% of their profits, sir. Why didn't you address that question? Does that twat actually say that?
No.
Does she ask the question again?
She's just a hole.
What?
She should have interrupted him right there.
Wait, Mr. President. Didn't ask you that.
Yeah, we'll get
Wasn't
to that.
even close
we'll get
to that,
sir. But my question was,
what we need is get the relief out there.
what is Good Morning America worried if they piss off the president that'll never go?
I ain't coming back.
He ain't gonna come back. All right, what can he promise the victims?
We saw Chris Bury's report about the movement from the Superdome to the Astrodome.
Right.
And the prospect, some people are saying, is of 1 million American refugees in place for a very long time. It's really a two-part question, which is, what are you saying to them about how far the federal government's going to go to get their lives back? Do you promise jobs? Do you promise that they will be moved back into housing, and how soon?
Well, first of all, we've got to get a handle on the situation. In other words, we've got to stop the flooding in New Orleans. We've got to, rescue the folks, get them out of harm's way, get food and medicine to people, and then take a serious assessment about what it's going to need to rebuild New Orleans and parts of Mississippi.
No shit, Sherlock.
I got a plan for the 1 million refugees. We're going to give them clothing and give them a place to stay. We're going to dress them up. They might not like the clothing. It's all camouflage. And then we're going to send them about 15,000 miles away to a refugee camp called Baghdad. We're going to give them some guns and have them fight Al-Qaeda.
Stop it. Hurricanes, that was great. What did Bill
is
Burr say?
Hurricanes hate freedom.
Hurricanes hate freedom.
What do you expect from the foreign nations?
Nothing.
What about the other nations of the world? Are they offering the kind of help that you expected them to help, you want them to help, and there is a report that you're going to deploy your father again and President Clinton again to go out there and seek it? What is it you are expecting from them, and will you get it?
I'm not expecting much from foreign nations because we hadn't asked for it. I do suspect a lot of sympathy, and perhaps some will send cash, dollars. But this country is going to rise up and take care of it. We'd love help, but we're going to take care of our own business as well. And there's no doubt in my mind we'll succeed.
Someone made a great point on TV last night. You expect some of these third world nations that we have helped in the past to also donate money to us?
Yeah, come on, Thailand, cut a check.
Right. Indonesia.
Send over some 9-year-old boys.
That's Indonesia, right. What do you got?
Their number one export.
Right.
Let them swim with their lithe bodies.
What do you got for us?
That's great.
I want to stand in New Orleans in the flooding with a big banner behind me that says "Mission Accomplished."
What an ass! What a boob!
One more.
Do something.
One more soundbite from Bush.
Can America afford this cost? Because a number of people, again, are saying right now we are straining at the seams a bit. We are paying the war in Iraq and the cost of that in the tens and tens of millions of dollars a day. And do we have to make a choice at some point between what we're doing in Iraq and what is needed right now to funnel massive amounts of money?
Now, we can win the war on terror, and we must win the war on terror.
What?
Security of this nation is at stake, and we'll help the people in New Orleans and Mississippi and Alabama as well.
I didn't hear the question very well. Did it have... What?
Can America afford...
Oh, afford it because we're also in Iraq.
Iraq
okay.
and this disaster.
Wow, I thought he just blurted that out of nowhere.
Terror. War on terror.
Well, I feel better today after hearing the president speak.
That's it. Now,
sounds like it's all under control.
Now I gotta leave on Air Force Hybrid. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
You had something else about Bush that was really funny in the office.
Oh, we were watching him on the news, and he's flying over Louisiana in Air Force One, and you're watching it live. I'm watching the plane overhead live. And then less than an hour later, he's in the Rose Garden at the White House giving a speech. This motherfucker, no baggage carousel at Washington. No waiting for a limo, nothing. How do you get from in the air in Louisiana to at your house in Washington in under an hour? God, did that piss me off.
I'll stand here for my bag. Is that mine? It looks like it. It's the blue one. Check the tag on the back.
There's none of that shit for him. No George W. No Savage holding a George W. sign outside the arrival terminal. Lucky bastard.
And while it's funny while you were playing the Bush audio, Ben came in and handed out 3 black and white lithographed photos of Bush.
Yes, Bush looking out the window of Air Force One. That's what we have here. He felt the need to hand these out to everybody on the show.
Like while you were talking about it, I looked at this and I went, aha! There he is.
Those pictures make me puke.
That's the guy.
They're photo ops. Yeah. President Bush, we need a picture of you looking out the window now, sir.
He looks up. He looks all disgusted.
I'm sure they, it's the digital camera age, so they probably took about 10 or 15. Like, not good enough. Let's do this again.
Look concerned.
Look a little more concerned.
And open your eyes. You're supposed to be looking out the window.
Look like you're in deep thought.
Lift the window shade, sir.
I can see my house from here.
It's all staged.
Yeah.
It's not a real picture of a moment.
I don't know. All I know is I'm glad Ben handed it to me. Because I looked at it.
It's awful. Let's say hi to Steve in Mississippi. Steve. Mississippi. Steve, go ahead, bud. Steve?
Hi.
Steve?
Hello?
Yes.
Go ahead, Steve.
Hey.
Speak.
I'm down here in Mississippi, man. I was just going to tell you how much it sucks.
Yeah, we know that.
I know shit. We've got fucking lines for miles for gas. We're worried about whether we can run the fucking generator to have cold food or warm food, whatever, to eat. It's just it's unreal. You can't even imagine your whole life how much it changes in just a weekend.
Have you gotten that head injury checked out?
No, we didn't get it too bad. I'm more up around central Mississippi, but even in central Mississippi, 180 miles from where the hurricane came on shore, we have no fucking power. The water is bad because I guess the power went off and messed up how they treat it or whatever. You can't, no ice. You can't make ice with it for your drinks,
It is kind of weird, though, when you think about it, like, what's today, Thursday? Like, over the weekend or whatever it was, people are like, oh, man, this is going to suck. It's going to rain a lot, so you might get a little flooding here, or let's just kind of, put the tape on the window so in case the wind, and your whole life is upside down. It's really, you're right, your whole.
And we're trying to do something a little different too. Eric is outside the studio trying to get the whole thing together, but we're throwing together an Opie and Anthony auction.
Oh.
We've been collecting autographed stuff from celebrities that have come through these doors.
Collector's items.
For the last year, and we've been waiting for an opportunity to have one of these auctions, and we're going to set something up on eBay, and 100% of the money raised is going to go to the relief effort down there in New Orleans and Mississippi. So
we have some good items.
Do we?
Yes.
That's what I was scared about.
Well, I have to bring in some more. I have 3 of each CD for auction.
Hey, Eric. Let's get Eric in.
Nice.
Signed,
too.
And I have one of my final copies from the Louis C.K. pilot, one of my scripts. Do that.
Well, there you go.
And we have a producer. We're all going to sign Ben's face, and he'll come to your house and talk during a party.
Eric, where are we
He'll
at?
hold the chips and spill them.
Where are we at with the auction?
It's coming along good. We should have it up in probably another hour or so.
That's unacceptable. 45 minutes maximum. Get out.
I think we're going to try for like a 10-day auction.
Yeah.
And as we add items to this thing, then those items will be up there for 10 days. So we don't know how long this is going to go for. And maybe if some of our friends that are listening right now that know they have something really good, that if they want to donate that.
Maybe you could talk to some of your friends in show business.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Yeah, and they can come on and put something up for auction.
Exactly. What are some of the stuff we got?
We've got a bunch of the Foreman grills signed by George Foreman.
George Foreman grills signed by George Foreman.
We've got this digital press kit that Lucasfilms gave us with a limited edition family tree poster signed by Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh, well.
So we have that there. Tons of WWE merchandise. The Dick Cavett Rock Icon collection.
Wow,
CD
stop
signed.
it. All signed?
Yeah, all signed.
All right. That's a burger.
Bunch of CDs and DVDs from comedian friends of the show. And there's a whole bunch of stuff.
Boy, that list fell off quick. Apparently, the goal of the Opie and Anthony show is we want to raise $200.
We want to fill up one person's gas tank, I guess.
Lickety split. We really are asses. We have a doll that Mick Foley signed.
Great.
And, we'll send it.
Well, we're trying. We got to start somewhere, so...
We got to dig through our personal stuff. People want personal items from us.
They do?
That's what they want. Those are the collector's items.
I'll sell my pillowcase filled with smelly mouth drool.
I got some press passes from various events we've been at.
Yeah, we'll bring in some of our stuff.
Oh, the lunchbox that Jimmy smashed.
That's
the KISS
damaged, Eric.
lunchbox.
Yeah, the KISS lunchbox.
See, that's the type of item. Here's what they're looking for.
Yeah, we got a bunch of these things, too. Jim was kind enough to sign it and date it. So,
Yep. All right.
Some lucky guy will get
Well,
those.
we're going to start our Opie and Anthony auction hopefully later today. We'll have links on all our websites, and the items will be up there for about 10 days. We'll add items as we go, and we'll see what happens, okay?
Right.
And if you want to just send cash, call 1-800-HELP-NOW. That's where we're telling the XM Nation to go for their donations.
Yes.
All right? All right, we're going to take a quick break.
All right.
We're going to get into...
developing story. Shots were fired at the Superdome. No more people will be leaving by bus.
Really?
That's nice. All right.
Well, it's just a mess.
That's a good one.
All right.
Powder keg situation over there. Wow. Large crowds outside the Superdome. You can't have that many people waiting to be evacuated. The evacuation process is so slow that they're watching other people leave, and they're starving, no water. They're going to start rolling vehicles over.
And why'd they stop the evacuation process? I know someone fired a cop, there's some animal, but what the rest of the people didn't. So what are you not busting them out for?
You can't have...
Holy shit.
I'm looking at footage right now. We all are, obviously, outside the Superdome, and that just looks like it's going to get really, really ugly soon. These people are going to start losing their minds.
Well, I don't think they're bringing the buses right up to the door, are they? I see a school bus there, but I don't know about the buses that they're actually taking to the Astrodome.
They're all just standing around waiting for something to happen, and they just don't know what to do. They're they're trying, obviously, but now there were shots fired at a helicopter, so now they're not evacuating anyone from the Superdome at this point.
Oops.
Wow.
Why would you not evacuate? Unless they're using helicopters to take people out.
I think they were.
The problem is they can't get any vehicles into these areas. The only way they could get anywhere is with helicopters.
What kind of an idiot would fire bullets at the helicopter? Why would you do that?
I don't know, maybe someone that's really hungry, hasn't eaten in days, hasn't had fresh water in days, and has cranky ass.
No, that's an asshole.
Yeah, you can't fire at a helicopter.
I don't care how hungry. You don't fire at the helicopter.
It's taking you out.
There's no excuse for that.
And supposedly some hospital truck was hijacked.
Yeah, an ambulance.
Or an ambulance or something. We're getting word of that. XM teaming up with the Red Cross in its effort to help the people in the hurricane-damaged areas. If you want to donate, 1-800-HELP-NOW. That's 1-800-HELP-NOW. And we're starting up an Opie and Anthony auction. We should have it up and running within the next hour, hopefully. Some of our items that we've had signed over the last year, we're just throwing it all up online, and people could bid for that stuff, and we'll donate all the money to the Red Cross and their effort, okay?
Well, they've already gotten a concert for hurricane relief. It's going to be an hour-long show. That'll air Friday on NBC. Concert will include country singer Tim McGraw, Harry Connick Jr., Wynton Marsalis, and will be hosted by Matt Lauer.
In New York?
Oof. Well, Borefest, that sounds like...
Matt Lauer, have you ever seen him in person, dude? That guy has got charisma coming off his ears.
Is that it?
Oh, he's great.
We saw him at the Rolling Stones press conference.
A suit jacket, jeans, no socks. That's the look I like.
It was 100 degrees out.
Yeah.
MTV VH1 announced the relief campaign, kicked off Saturday, September 10th, featuring Dave Matthews, Alicia Keys, John Mellencamp, Ludacris, Green Day.
All right, we got Harry Connick Jr. audio. He was on the Today Show very recently, reporting from New Orleans.
When you see this devastation, will the city ever be able to recover from this? Because so much history has been completely washed away.
Well, I mean, I remember after 9/11, I used to hear a lot of people talking about the spirit of New Yorkers and how strong they were, and it was truly unbelievable how strong they were. One thing about New Orleans, these people are freakishly strong and passionate about this city. That's kind of a funny thing. The first thing I thought of when I came down last night and I saw Canal Street, I felt like it was Ash Wednesday, the day after Mardi Gras Day, because this is the closest that it would look to that. just everything kind of in disarray, and then you expect it, within 24 hours the city's functioning again. Absolutely, the city's gonna rebuild. These people are tough, Katie. They're strong people, and we're proud of our. Somebody asked me last night. They said, "Can you imagine spending 3 days in the Superdome?" I said, "Well, it can't be any worse than spending 3 hours in the Superdome watching some of those Saints games that we've had in the past." We're tough. We're tough people. We're diehard, and we'll make it through. It's just right now. It's just weird.
Maybe we can get some guests to help promote their charity events on that. That'd be nice. Maybe we can.
Oh, there you go. There's an angle.
Maybe that will motivate someone to put famous people here.
No.
I mean, I'm not knocking today's guest list. We got a good one.
First guest of the week.
Yes,
no. We had.
We're not supposed to trash the booker. Remember that, guys.
Okay. I won't.
Steve Dahl, radio talk show host in Chicago, in a bit of trouble.
This is not good.
And if this is true, I think he's fired. So fired.
This all depends on how much publicity this gets. If it's got what they call legs, if people run with it, then he will be in huge trouble. Fired.
So fired.
So incredibly and completely fired.
Steve Dahl serves up recipe with foul taste.
Ooh. Attaboy.
Bless you.
Cool.
Jesus, could you cover your mouth or something?
No need for that.
Holy shit.
I like the fact that not only does he not, but he opens it wider. This way could cough and stuff.
What are you doing?
That's what I do, because you fart every day.
I don't fart every day.
For now on,
farts don't give you tuberculosis.
From now on, I sneeze without covering up. That's what I do now.
I'll do that too. My hiney burps. That's the cute way to say it. Look at Jesus.
Lysol's also disinfectant spray.
Good point, Aunt. Good point.
You got something like coffee.
That's good. It'll help you.
That's
right.
right.
Shows whatever ails you.
It'll take away that cold. Theo Pino sneezes again.
Steve Dahl serves up recipe with foul taste. You got to hand it to Steve Dahl. I'm reading the article here from the Sun-Times. Even after all these years, radio's original bad boy still knows how to push the envelope of bad taste to the absolute limit. While other broadcasters struggle to convey the enormous extent of Hurricane Katrina's toll, Dahl is mining the tragedy for comedy. On his WCKG afternoon show Tuesday, he mused about creating a drink inspired by reports of floating corpses in New Orleans.
Yikes.
And on his weblog Wednesday, he elaborated. Okay, so maybe this is a quote from him, I guess, Anthony, or his writings?
Yeah, now hold on. Is this on the air, or is this part of a weblog?
I think he mentioned it. He mused about creating a drink inspired by a report. He probably said something about it.
He definitely said something about it, because then it says, and on his weblog Wednesday, he elaborated.
All right.
So he started the thought on a show, and then he elaborated on his weblog.
Yeah, the highlighted part?
No, just keep reading.
All right. Okay.
This is what he said on his weblog. Yeah.
So now I feel a little guilty that I wanted to see New Orleans completely covered in water. Dahl wrote. You have to admit, though, that the helicopter rescues and the looting make for some interesting TV. I guess I understand the looting for food and water. If I were flooded out of my home, I think I would crave a 32-ounce bottle of Dasani water and a can of SpaghettiOs myself. But trying on clothes while standing knee-deep in floodwater, that seems a bit much. I'm still waiting on the floating corpses. I guess because a lot of people are reporting floating corpses, but they haven't been on the news yet, so I guess that's what he meant by that.
Look at some of the pictures that Than is popping up on the screen to my left, and you showed one of a floating corpse.
Really?
Yeah, there was one. They're starting to appear on the internet.
And here's where he gets in trouble. Quote, Steve Dahl. To that end, I have sent away for 5 pounds of chocolate babies to act as floaters in the new drink I'll be inventing this week, the floating corpse. I'm thinking creme de coco, Kahlua, some rum, maybe a little cream, and a floating chocolate baby.
He is so fired.
If he wrote it, though, and he didn't say it on the air, maybe.
Yeah, he might slide then. Of course, I'll fine-tune that and come up with a secret ingredient or two, but that's the general cocktail framework I think I'm working with presently. Sort of a mudslide without the mud, more of a muddy waters. Well, we have a New Orleans resident commenting on Steve Dahl's recipe there.
Go ahead, go and leave out Barton, yeah.
Oh, well, he's fine.
Well, I think that the New Orleans... I think the New Orleans resident probably didn't appreciate what he had to say.
What's that supposed to be, some kind of sick joke? You better get your head and your ass wired together, or I will take a giant shit on you. Son, all I've ever asked of my Marines is for them to obey my orders as they would the word of God. We are here to help the Vietnamese because inside every gook there is an American trying to get out. It's a hardball world, son. We've got to try to keep our heads until this peace craze blows over.
And read the last paragraph.
That guy's fantastic.
Vietnamese.
Also, just for the record, the chocolate baby thing is not meant to be racist in any way. Yes, there have been a lot of African Americans on TV being rescued and the like, but they don't make anything over than chocolate baby. What is that?
Other?
Other.
Yes.
What did I say over twice?
Oh, you stink.
You're a sweet.
But they don't make anything other than... Yeah.
You do have the same copy as me, right?
Yeah.
Where it says other.
It's other.
Okay.
Yeah. But they don't make anything other than chocolate babies or licorice babies. And it seems to me that chocolate was less offensive. It's a judgment call. If they made strawberry babies, I would have ordered 5 pounds of them, too. Is that him trying to
I don't know.
get out of trouble?
Yeah, it's cool. You do a floating, by the way, thing. Can you get a camera? Do we have a camera, please? One of the interns. Something has to be addressed. I would like to know, if you, maybe you don't have to get one. Just have someone bring it in. You're doing that. Have somebody bring it in. Maybe a hawk can bring a camera in.
Yeah.
I would like to know, why would you make a dead bodies floating joke and then try to be PC and say African Americans and explain away the racist angle?
Yeah.
Just go all the way with it, man. If you're going to make the joke, don't insult people's intelligence.
It's just stupid.
I like Steve Dahl, though. I don't think he should be fired for it.
No.
It's his right to say it. It's tasteless, but he's...
It's going to get some legs, you watch.
I don't think anyone should be fired for anything you say on the air, to tell you the truth.
I agree.
But that is wow.
No, I actually don't agree. Some people should be fired for certain things. I am gone. Martini Steve.
Crazy Dean.
Yeah.
Why do you keep calling?
Why am I calling?
What do you want, sweetie?
I'm watching CNN, and they're feeding the people in Orleans lobster.
Well, yeah, it's the lobster's plentiful down there.
Easy to get. You pick them out of the trees now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but you know what? Crazy Dean, as I was in on Norton's birthday down in Times Square, handing out flyers, and then I got into an accident.
And
I just wanted to let them know that I was chasing drug dealers down.
All right. You're a good boy.
Hence Crazy Dean.
Yeah. Crazy Dean.
We get it. Crazy Dean. You're crazy. You're insane. What else you got, Crazy Dean?
Well, I'm just watching CNN right now, and they have happy people in the kitchen cutting lobsters up.
Yeah, I'm sure. That's exactly what I saw.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. That's
I'm not
sure
looking at houses
that smiles.
Then you can only see the roofs.
I'm sure that's in New Orleans. They're doing that.
Nathaniel?
Those are roofs, man. Jesus.
Oh my God.
Are you Sam or Nathaniel?
It's Pete.
All right, Crazy Dean. Thank you. So you'll stop calling because you finally got on the air, right?
No, call back.
On the air now?
Yes, you are.
All right.
Oh. It's good. Venezuelan leader Hugo Chavez offered humanitarian relief Wednesday. I guess Jesse Jackson went over there to say hi to him down there in Venezuela. And Chavez focused on criticizing George Bush, calling him the king of vacations, and referring to the fact that he was at his Texas ranch when the hurricane struck. He said Bush, there at his ranch, said nothing more than you need to flee. He didn't even say how, in cowboy style. So now world leaders, one of them at least, coming forward and criticizing Bush on his handling of the disaster. I don't like the way Bush is doing anything these days, but Jesus.
Yeah.
When Venezuela's leader Hugo Chavez is criticizing you,
and there was reports of all the offers from France and all the rest of the world did say a lot of Good stuff.
They don't cut checks, though. You know?
They probably would.
I think it's looked at as if, let's say, Opie got a flat tire, and he goes to Danny and says, "Could I have a couple of bucks for a tire?"
Probably. I mean,
you know, it looks a little off.
Yeah, right. Well, a multi-millionaire, asked Danny.
Hey, Tom. Wow, you sound a little up today.
You sound better.
You goddamn right I am. I got the fuck out of that hellhole.
You did. Where are you?
I'm at the fucking beach, baby.
What?
Me and my boy, we're at Fort Walton, Destin area, right between Pensacola and Panama City.
Ah, so you went east.
Took us forever. We had to go west first.
Yeah.
And then the whole time, because we had to get around all kind of shit. Like the water wasn't bad, but it was all the power lines down, and the shit was everywhere. It was terrible.
What a good decision, though, going east after you go, because everyone seems to be going west. You're heading to the beach.
We went all the way. We went all the way to Baton Rouge, and so there was no gas. I said, "Fuck, we'll just get gas. We'll go up somewhere in this." So we start heading back, and we're like, "We're never going to get gas going east." So we're like, "Fuck, we're down to a quarter of a tank." So we turn around. We go past Baton Rouge, and the whole time I'm thinking of fucking Norton. So finally, I turn off the air conditioning in the truck. You little prick.
Good.
And now I'm thinking I'm going to run out of gas, and this is not going to be good. I'm going to be sweating my ass off with 3 fucking dogs and in the truck with no gas. And so we kept going, and finally we saw this gas station had a shitload of people at it.
How long the line?
We lucked out. What?
How long the line? How long did you wait?
About 40 minutes.
Oh, that's not even that bad. I've heard of 2-hour waits.
What'd you pay for gas over there?
$3.35 a gallon.
That's nothing.
Yeah, so you're out, man. All right, good for you. Good. You sound better.
You know, so I got gas. I'm at the beach. Dude, I feel so much better, man. It's bad, dude. Because I watched TV the whole way. I didn't watch a lot of the national shit when I was down there. I just catch 20 minutes of it.
Yeah.
Now you got the brothers shooting at helicopters from the dome.
Yeah, you're lucky to get out of there. They started fanning out to the suburbs.
Where are you, Tom, in a motel?
Yeah, we're at a motel, and we're just, like, right on the beach, baby.
Have you showered, Tom?
Have I showered? Last night at, like, 3 in the morning, first thing I did was that, and I'm getting ready to take another one, dude.
It feels good, right?
So good. We slept in air condition. It's so cold. There's frost on the windows.
You overdo it the other way, then, right?
Exactly. It's so great, man. I would have gone stir crazy. I was sweating. I was depressed. I was just miserable.
Tom, what are your plans now for long range? Because you eventually you're going to have to go back, but it looks like it's going to be quite some time.
Let's see, long range. What time is it about? Almost 9 o'clock?
That's his long range plan.
Gonna get some beer. Gonna get some breakfast.
Hey,
Maybe
Tom.
beer can be breakfast. Go to the beach, baby.
I'm starting to notice something here.
We think you're an alcoholic.
Well, we know that already. Are you pretty much separated from your family?
Right now I am, yeah.
Like you and your wife are doing different things?
She went to her mom's with the kids. I stayed down to hold down the fort.
Yeah, but I would figure that eventually you would try to meet back up
Hook up with your family instead of going to the beach.
In this time of crisis.
Tom's like, I got the car, and she's like, no, I'll just hang here in the Astrodome. You go.
I'm cool. I mean, what am I going to do up there? I mean, I just wanted to chill. I mean, there's no way you can't really even get wet. I mean, going west is just miserable. It's like a parking lot.
Are there a lot of people running that ran around where you are now, or did you pick one of these areas that seems to be?
I don't think so, because I tell you what, it took us forever to get here. We came down I-10. We went through like I-10 right past on the other side of Biloxi and Gulfport when I went down.
I'd say that, but
and it
smart.
was bad, man. There's trees snapped everywhere. There's stretches of I-10 that's closed. You had to get off. It was the middle of the night. We were tired. We got off. We took this detour. The freaking cops had it wrong, so we went all the way in this giant circle, and we're back at the same detour. So we knew we had to go the other way.
Well, very glad to hear.
About 3 o'clock.
Very glad to hear you're out of there and safe. Did you batten down the house or anything, or you just leave?
I battened down the house. I mean, I locked it. I mean, there's not much more I could really do.
You get most of the valuables out?
Yeah, but I mean, if I get looted, I'm fucked. I mean, I got a lot of sports collectible shit and stuff like that.
Oh, and what's your address?
But I tell you what, it just feels so good to be out of there. I was going to go stir crazy in there.
Yeah, you're not going back for quite some time, you know.
Probably not. Well, they said, you could come back and start getting some stuff Monday. is the first day you can come back and get some stuff. So
good
they
luck.
let you into the parish. But we stopped at this one place, and this trucker was talking to us, and he's like, "I got something for you boys. Come here." And he gives us these, let me see what the fuck this is. Ready-to-eat individual,
MREs, yeah.
Meals ready to eat.
Menu number 19, pot roast with vegetables. We're like, oh, thanks. You know, we get in the truck and throw that shit out. Like, we're eating steak and shrimp, dude.
Jesus. There are people starving, and he's throwing it away. You
really stink.
All right, Tom. Well, it's really good hearing from you, and glad you're safe, and keep us updated.
All right, boys. I'll call you maybe next week when I go back into desolation. But, yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe I got to move.
All right.
But here's one piece of good news. I found out from people that I work with and stuff, we're still going to get paid. So I just might pull an Opie and Anthony.
Yeah, you could do that.
You know? It's
Just
not
sit
bad,
out, go traveling, hang out at the beach. Good job.
Just travel, just chill.
All right, Tom.
All right, fellas. Y'all be good.
There he goes. Tom from New Orleans. Tom.
I'm not going to do it.
All right, later.
He's smartened up. I think this disaster has helped Tom a little bit.
Yeah. Well, he's sober for the most part.
Smartened up. Boy, isn't it great to see somebody that was in the center of all that disaster, decided they had to get out, and has no concern at all for his family. He just drove in the opposite direction of his family,
Right.
and the first thing he did was go to a beach and get some beer. What a creep Tom is.
What else do we have to do before we get out of here today?
Any updates? Are they still evacuating people, or have they stopped because of the gunfire? I always got to go home, and this is on all day,
right?
The news in the studio, but I know nothing from it. I got to go home and turn the news on and listen and watch for another 16 hours.
I think the gunfire came from, someone that isn't going to be on one of those buses. And
no, probably on the outskirts somewhere.
And is a little
Firing
pissed off.
helicopters.
So
maybe somebody they wouldn't let in.
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe a ragamuffin.
Shooting. A lot of shooting.
Yeah, there
emails coming in.
Covering the shooting.
Shooting.
There was a shooting at the Superdome.
Well, XM247 has a lot of really good updates about what's going on down there.
Oh, maybe I'll listen to that on the way home.
XM247 with the latest updates as far as Hurricane Katrina goes. Wow, look at that.
A big pile of boats
just piled up on top of each other.
Louisiana.
Wow. They're going absolutely nuts. Ken from Whackbag. What's up, Ken?
It's Captain Clark, actually, from Whackbag, but that's cool.
All right.
Dude, Ray Nagin, they just played a little bit of his interview on CNN. He had probably about 15 minutes more of that where he's just freaking out on all the federal officials for not doing shit. He's saying he's been, trying to declare martial law for 2 days.
Yeah.
Nobody's doing nothing. It's reflected in the media coverage because nobody on TV has really been reporting the kind of shit that's been hitting the fan down there since yesterday. I know, Anthony, you're probably all up on it. You've been watching it. Anderson Cooper and Shepard Smith both kind of freaked out yesterday on the air. It was awesome.
Yeah, so did, what's his name? Goddamn, who's the guy on CNN? Cafferty, Jack Cafferty.
Good old
Jack Cafferty lost his mind yesterday on CNN, just yelling at Bush and the administration and the fact that not enough is being done. He actually brought up the fact that it has a lot to do with the class of people and the race of people down there.
Everybody's taking a backseat attitude towards the whole thing, and man, there's thousands of people down there just sitting, waiting, and rotting.
Why is it that it's days later, and we still look at the news, and we can see a shot of a huge group of people with no leadership there in the way of National Guard or Army? Why is it that we're working on almost a week, and we don't see this? We still see thousands upon thousands of people grouped up in an area where there is nothing, no one delivering food or water or anything. It's beyond me. I don't get it. I don't understand why. We were talking in the office, and I was like, if there were 10,000 Al-Qaeda members at the convention center in New Orleans, do you think they'd have to say, well, we need to move in resources before the Army was on the ground doing something about that situation? Now, obviously, they're not supposed to be hostile. They're refugees and not combatants. But the fact of the matter is there is a way to move these resources in there immediately. If that was a hostile presence, an enemy terrorists that were held up at the convention center or the Superdome, guaranteed their place would be crawling with military. Why can't this be done and these people be given what they need to live? People are dying. This is going to be huge in the way of lawsuits for years to come. Another, more taxpayer burden in the way of lawsuits for people that were alive, could have still been alive, and are now dead because they didn't get food and water in time. Why was Bush spending his time meeting with Alan Greenspan about the economic impact of this thing before the people are even out? Why is he going to tour the disaster area when shit's still falling down around it? You don't tour a disaster area when the disaster is still happening. You can't get an assessment of how bad things are when the badness hasn't stopped yet.
Well,
do something huge.
Well, today he is. He's going to be walking among the people, he said.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's getting right there in New Orleans, I'm sure. I'm certain.
He'll probably be in, like, Georgia.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I got as close as I could.
Right.
I see the suffering.
Stop taking people.
The Astrodome stopped taking people after about 10 to 15,000 people.
They just said on TV 12,000 people.
12,000 people, and they were planning on taking 25,000. You know what the amazing thing is also? The Superdome they said about upwards of 25 to 30,000 people there at the beginning that were there for shelter. They've shipped out well over 12,000. 12,000 are now at the Astrodome, but they've shipped out more, and they're trying to bring them to other shelters elsewhere. There's now over 30,000 people at the Superdome. There's more people there now than when they started trying to evacuate people out.
So what,
and it's just growing.
People are just walking right into the Superdome at this point?
They're walking there because now, obviously, the people on the ground there don't get the news that we're getting.
Right.
And the last thing they probably heard were, hey, people are getting evacuated out from the Superdome. So all they know is to get there. Now they're getting there and realizing there's no buses coming, there's no food. There's, we've heard on the news the robberies, rapes, the murders, the beatings, and that's what they're walking into. There are smaller pockets, like what you see on the news of the thousands and thousands of people grouped in one area. There are smaller pockets of, 10, 15 people, 100 people here and there that are just trying to defend themselves, scrounge up water. A lot of these rooftop communities they're talking about are turning up on top of hotels from people that were in the hotels that couldn't get out. The staff is up and left, and now these people are getting what they're calling rooftop communities, scrounging for food and water and trying to hold off these marauders.
Is it true that the police force has quit, or part of the police force?
Yeah, I've gotten different...
I heard a number of 60% of the police down there have basically said, screw this.
Yeah, and then you hear from the government that it's 20%, but the truth lies somewhere in between there.
Sure.
Of cops that have just given up. They look around and go, why am I bothering? Why am I going to risk life and limb, be away from my family? The cops also have no resources.
That's what I was going to say. You got to think their families are in dire need as well, and
the cops themselves don't have changes of uniforms. They don't have food. They don't have water. And what are they supposed to do? They're victims in this also. So, and now they're supposed to uphold the law. They're supposed to go after looters when they themselves don't have anything and have been. A lot of people are saying, well, the cops are joining the looters.
Some have.
No, I don't know. Of course there are bad people around here that are going to be looting and hurting other people. But I think for the most part, a lot of these people that are looting are grabbing food and water, which is probably now gone. I can't imagine there's a store left with any edible food in there or drinkable water. And it just, for some reason, you always imagined that if something like this happened to a major city, the government would be able to swoop in
like nothing
and take care of everything.
Right.
You've always heard that, This is an embarrassment as far as this government goes, this administration that's in there. It's an embarrassment. The whole world's out there watching, and what are they seeing? They're seeing thousands upon thousands of people dropping dead on the streets in these makeshift shelters. And where is this rapid response? Where are the images we've seen in Somalia of cargo planes dropping resources down to these people in open fields. We've seen it. We know it's possible. Where is it? Where's the open field getting the big C-130 flying over, just dropping food and water? The two basics. That's it. Don't worry about clothing yet or transportation out of there, but just enough to keep the people breathing until they can airlift them out or bus them out or however else they're getting out. Where is that? They keep talking. You listen to the FEMA people. You listen to the Bush administration people. They're saying, we're doing it. We're getting people there. Getting is already too late. The people should have been there already, helping these people out. Nothing. You're just seeing huge pockets of people with nothing.
And the Astrodome, the buses are piling up now.
Yeah, because they're not taking people.
They're not taking any more people, they're saying. They got 12,000 people in there, and they got a whole bunch of buses outside the Astrodome. Full buses, and they don't know where to take these people at this time.
Outside the Astrodome, people sleeping now.
People are starting to sleep outside the Astrodome now.
Now they're moving, from the Superdome. How bad is the problem going to get in Houston?
Mm-hmm.
If they have to now turn people away, have to find other shelter for them, it is what they call a clusterfuck. And the solution doesn't seem to be today or tomorrow. It should have been the day before yesterday, the day before that. Somebody did a horrid job of estimating what was needed in New Orleans. And no one, anytime somebody tries to bring it up to the administration or FEMA, they say, well, now's not the time for finger pointing. No, it is the time. Because somebody is dropping the ball, and they're continuing to do so. Where's the help for these people?
The coverage finally got to me last night. Because to me, it's been so surreal just watching this, and
very entertaining.
Like you said on Monday, it's kind of like in a weird way, a movie.
It's like a movie going on. Yeah,
because you watch all the coverage, and then I walk outside my apartment. It's a beautiful sunny day in New York, and
birds are tweeting.
Yeah, and people just walking around. They don't give a shit.
Yeah.
They really don't. They're walking around with their Starbucks and their cell phones, like whatever.
Yeah,
it's kind of weird. You watch the coverage for hours, and then you go outside, and like you said, the birds are chirping.
Everything's fine. The buses are running.
But it finally really, really hit me with wheelchair dead grandma.
How many times did you see wheelchair dead grandma?
God.
And
oh my God!
Under the blanket, and they pulled away that blanket a little to show Granny's arm there in the wheelchair. Because she was totally covered, but it looks better if you could see a little flesh.
And of course all the news networks, really, I hate to say this, but really milking that shot over and over and over.
How many times?
And hey, you win, you got me. You got me.
Yeah, that was a little much.
With the guy laying next to him in the sheet.
Yeah, in the sheet.
Because now they're going to just start piling up the bodies somewhere. Mm-hmm. They'll take it among them themselves to start piling up the dead bodies somewhere. And then the front page of the New York Times has just a dead body floating in, I guess, the canal. I don't know.
Could be a street.
Yeah, it could be a street. You're right,
It looks like it's somebody. The picture's taken from a highway overpass.
And it looks like another older person. Like it looks like another grandma. In old lady clothes, just face down, floating in water. That's the front page of the New York Times today.
Yeah.
And you look at these front pages of these papers here in New York, and you really think you're looking at another country.
Yeah, a lot of people are bringing up the third world nation, and that is what it looks like. You got a lot of black people walking around in a lot of garbage with a lot of kids. And they have nothing and no help. They're all very desperate. It looks like Rwanda, looks like Somalia, only they're a lot more well-fed. I'll give them that. Jesus Christ. There are some of the fattest women I've ever seen on television in New Orleans. When they talk about the obesity of this country, and you look around and go, I don't see that many fat people. Boy, are they bringing up the average down there. God damn! After this disaster, how about taking care of the disaster that is the people's eating habits down there? Holy shit! How many more people could you get in a chopper if you didn't have to take 5 people that took up the weight of 10 on some of these helicopters? Christ!
It was a white city.
Stop eating the fatbacks.
You think it'd take this long?
No. The truth of the matter is,
I was thinking about that on the way in today, and no.
You know what?
They would have swooped right in. I don't care if the streets are blocked and it's flooded and stuff. They would have found a way.
There's a weird thing going on here, though. Is it the fact that they're black, and is it a racial thing, or is it just a class thing, with poor people. These people, obviously, they're dirt poor.
I don't think it's racial. I think it's a class
I
thing.
think it's the fact that these people are
Don't have
the
money.
poorest of the poor. They don't have money. These are the people that probably couldn't get out. Sure, there are plenty that could have. I see a lot of very healthy young men there that could have probably helped a lot more people get out and decided not to. That was very stupid. But a lot of people that we're seeing are old people, people that are way out of shape. A lot of kids. That's another thing. Jesus Christ, what is it with the fucking poor and the fact that they got to just have 18 kids? I was reading in the paper, this one woman, they had her name, her age, and the fact that she's toting 11 of her children with her. 11. But these, whatever, these are problems that have been going on for years and years and years. These people, very poor, and I think that does have a lot to do with the fact that they're not getting the help that they needed. If this was... let's say a huge freak hurricane that strong hit somewhere like Greenwich, Connecticut, and you're looking at a bunch of residents of Greenwich walking the streets like this. Do you honestly believe that they would be lacking the essentials of life in Greenwich? I doubt it. And I don't know who's giving the order to not get the help in there. Who's saying they're poor, we shouldn't send the help?
It's never
I don't
spoken.
think it's happening that
Never
way.
spoken.
But there just didn't seem to be the importance with the administration to get the help in there immediately.
You said they're meeting with Greenspan and weighing the economic.
Yeah.
That's the way it's done. No one ever sits in a room and goes, all right, well, they're poor and black. All right, fuck them. It's like, well, we do have to weigh the economic thing. And the other person in the room, and he'll go, yeah, no, we do have to kind of see that. And it's like, it just kind of goes unsaid.
It's unspoken, but it's there. I mean, for some reason, these people aren't worth as much as other people, and they're being treated as such. And there's no denying it. You're seeing it on the news every goddamn day now for the past few days. It's what's happening. It's just the way it is right now.
Sickening. The way
It
the
is.
response has been.
It's an embarrassment. There are ways to get the resources to these people. It's just not being done. And if it isn't this class thing, if it isn't this subconscious little thing that's going on, then it's the fact that our government is so fucked up that they can't coordinate a rescue of their own people. Is that what we're living in? We've been blindsided again by the fact that our government can't take care of us like we thought they would. We aren't as secure as we thought we were. And the fact is that a natural disaster can roll in, wipe out an entire city, and the government isn't going to respond immediately. We're not going to get the pallets full of food and water rolling off of the C-130s. It's not happening. And the fact of the matter is, no, it isn't. Where is it?
The tsunami was handled better.
Yeah,
it really was. It was more organized. The effort to get in there and clean up and get relief or whatever, because the world, I guess, was involved in it. But it was more organized than this seems to be.
You're hearing a lot of excuses by these people.
Ugh.
You're hearing excuses, and any excuse that Washington can come up with for not having help in there is drown out listening to one person that is actually there talking about how they don't have food and water. There isn't one excuse that overrides their misery that's going on down there, and it's inexcusable.
How has there not been pallets of water brought in? It really is.
Where's the fucking it's water. You're not talking about flying in Cristal and dropping it. It's fucking bottled water. Drop it. There are plenty of open fields near these people. What are they waiting for? There's no excuse.
All right, let's go to the phone and say hi to Matt. Matt, what's going on today?
Ramon, get me to the Astrodome.
You're a tool. That was so goddamn funny yesterday, Jimmy.
It was a silly
You
one.
are a complete ass, and I loved it.
Yeah, if you're listening to the replays over the weekend on this channel, make sure you check out the Star Wars bit if you didn't hear it when it ran yesterday. Some people saying one of the top 5 bits we've done on XM. So
yeah.
We interview this guy that does a one-man Star Wars show. In the beginning, it was like, yeah, whatever. But it turns out to be one of the best bits we've done so far. So,
did you happen to see Shepard Smith and his well-choreographed reveal of the dead body behind him?
Yeah.
20 times they showed that one. This is another thing. You know, we goof on the media all the time, and I like Shepard Smith's coverage of this whole thing. He's one of the few like high-profile guys that are actually there, not on the outskirts. You know, the guy is in the shit, and you got to respect him for that.
You know, a lot of these TV stations have armed security now.
Yep.
I was reading in the paper this morning.
Yeah.
Armed security, 24 hours a day. But Shepard Smith
Shep's right there.
He just went with it. He started on Bourbon Street.
Yeah.
Filming pretty much the balcony we did our broadcast from.
Yeah.
During Mardi Gras, and now he's moved on to that overpass. And
they've moved a lot of them out, but he's right by the Superdome.
How are those guys eating?
I don't know, man. That's a good question.
Kind of like that old Sam Kinison bit, you know?
Yeah, the cameraman could give him a sandwich.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. So, Shepard Smith yesterday did a report from the overpass, and it was very dramatic. He sounded very somber, very low tone to his voice, and you could watch almost like a movie being directed. The camera movements. It started out with Shepard Smith maybe facing, let's say he was facing west, and the camera's facing east looking at him. Then they did this whole speech. He gave this whole speech as the scene completely turned around to where now Shepard's facing the other way and the cameraman's facing Shepard. And Shepard gives a speech about refugees on the highway, and then he steps to the side, exposing a dead body that was blocked by him, by himself, laying on the ground. Do you know how many times they must have worked that shot out to make sure the big reveal didn't come until he stepped to the side? It looks all spontaneous. It looks like he's speaking very somber, and then he steps to the side. But you don't get that shot without rehearsing it over and over and over again. And I would have loved to have seen the rehearsal. No, Shep, the corpse is still in the shot. You got to step a little to the left. And that was absolutely happening.
Was it a tape piece?
Yeah, it was a tape piece. Yep.
Today's going to be the day of the dead bodies. They started yesterday, but today you're going to see just...
You think Dead Body Day?
Today is Dead Body Day.
Mm-hmm.
Today is Dead Body Day. That's going to be the big thing they're going to show over and over again. Because they kind of felt this out a little bit yesterday on the news. All right.
Can they take it?
Can they take it? We'll show the grandma. We'll show this, and the Shepard thing. But today...
Let's get the reaction. We'll figure out if they can take the dead bodies.
Today's definitely Dead Body Day. Yeah. You watch.
All the money we waste on bullshit. Mm-hmm. And then there's 100,000 or more residents of this country that need water, and just fucking get them what they need. It's sickening, and it just makes you want to smack somebody's face.
This is just New Orleans we're talking about. Mississippi's a whole different story, man.
At least they can walk
right
to shelters. And Mississippi, they're starting to get power back in certain areas. You see a lot of heavy equipment moving a lot of this shit. That's fine. That's pretty much the aftermath of pretty bad hurricane, what's happening in Mississippi. That's what's happened. It's happened before. People have dealt with it. They've rebuilt. You get your dead. It happens. It's a horrible thing. But the situation in New Orleans is something so far from that. It's so far from that. You have people now that are still just stranded without the essentials, and they're not getting it. And you could say what you want. The looters, they should have left. This, that. What are they doing there still? Walk out, do that. It's not even. You can't even sit there and try to blame the people anymore. Whatever. Yeah, a lot of them, they're fucking assholes. They should have left. You're right. But the biggest issue here is the fact that they're not getting the essentials to live.
And it's been 5 days.
5 days.
I understand the first 24 hours, maybe even the first 48 hours. We're up to, the 5th day here.
Yeah.
And these government officials, they knew that the situation was going to deteriorate.
Yep.
And it did.
Well, that's another thing. Conspiracy theorists, sometimes I like thinking like the conspiracy theorist. I think this is a great social experiment for the government to look at how a city comes apart at the fucking seams when disaster strikes, and you let it go for a little longer than it should. It gives you a good indication of what might happen after maybe an atomic attack, biological attack, something that would close down and panic a city. This kind of gives you a little bit of research, you know?
That'd be a tough one to bring up in a meeting.
Yeah.
I got an idea.
No.
What?
Do I believe that? No. But like people are saying, People have said in the past, well, why shouldn't we kind of use some of the research that the Nazis came up with during World War II? It's there. You know, they did some of these horrific experiments, and, you know, why don't we just take a look at it and see if there's anything we can use there? And people have always said, are you insane? That's crazy. Well, I'm sure there are certain people in certain branches of the government that are looking at this and going, since it's happening, why don't we really take a close look at how an American city comes apart at the seams when they're faced with something like this?
Who knows, you know?
Yeah.
Behind those closed doors, anything is possible.
Certainly is.
And if they haven't thought of it before, I'm sure they will be now after that brilliant suggestion.
Washington, looking at you.
As a viewer, it's strange because at this point, if one of the news channels is not on New Orleans, I'm out. I'm out.
Out.
Baton Rouge, I don't care.
Opie, what do you do when they start talking about gas prices?
Get out.
Out.
Mississippi, out.
Opie, Iraq today.
Out.
Out.
CNN, what do you got for me? It's all about New Orleans to me.
MSNBC.
It's all about New Orleans. As soon as they go somewhere else, I'm out.
Talking head, out.
Out. Although, like, you know, the flyover in Mississippi where they're pointing out all the stuff yesterday was...
Yeah, that's pretty
That was
intense.
pretty incredible. Incredible footage.
I think I gotta say one thing though, like when you have however many people here trapped on the rooftops, I mean it does have to be difficult to get to a lot of people, especially when the helicopter was shot at. Maybe they've suspended certain.
They're saving people. They're saving thousands of people, you know, but it's just not enough.
Well, the animals that are shooting at rescuers, they absolutely need to be shot on the spot by the National Guardsmen without hesitation. They just need to be shot and dealt with.
Oh, they're doing that now.
That's it.
There was a graphic that just hit the TV. 8 looters were killed in one area.
Bravo!
One area, just one little town.
Bravo!
They killed 8.
Yeah, there's quite a few thousand National Guardsmen
now.
down there.
They said shoot to kill.
Looters,
shoot to kill.
There you go.
That order came out. Let's go to the phone and say hi to Mike in Jersey. Mike, what's up?
Hey, did you see how they're doing, like, the local spin on the hurricane? Like, it could hit New York?
No. The hurricane
I have not heard that at all.
The hurricane has passed us by, sir.
They said that it could, on Fox TV, they said how it could happen in New York and to get a kit ready and shit.
Oh, you mean for the next hurricane?
Yeah.
I thought you meant this hurricane. This hurricane is somewhere in Alaska.
No, the next
Nova Scotia. It's somewhere way up there.
I think we're a little too far north to really get the brunt of a 5. You know, and again, the New Orleans is below sea level.
The
biggest problem.
Why is Bush enlisting the help of people to open their hearts and wallets? I don't remember a kitty being taken up to send troops over to Afghanistan or Iraq, both of which I supported. So I'm not.
Yeah.
Why is it you don't need donations then and benefits then? Why is he relying on people's generosity now? How about the federal government fucking ponying up the money?
How about I donate every 3 months? I donate, and I make a big donation on April 15th. How about the government? It absolutely goes in. You don't see them grubbing up dollars for an invasion. Right. You're absolutely right.
We have the money. We're not a poor country. We have the money.
Get the troops there. Like I said before, if it was 10,000 Al-Qaeda sitting in the convention center, you'd figure out a way. It wouldn't be 5 days. The press wouldn't be going, Mr. President, Al-Qaeda terrorists, 10,000 of them are in the convention center in New Orleans. What's your plan? Well, we're sending ships in 5 days. They should be there. You'd have resources there. You'd have soldiers there.
Right in, man.
They would have the resources they need to survive, to do their job. You know, because that's one of the excuses I heard too. You can't just bring troops in. That you need some kind of an infrastructure of communication and whatnot for these troops that would come in. Well, what if it's a national emergency that you cannot wait 5 days for?
It is.
Like an invasion. It absolutely is. I'm putting it in terms that the government would understand. They would drop these soldiers in a second.
This is live pictures of the Superdome? So are they just... Someone explain what's going on at the Superdome. They're getting the people out of there, but more people are just going in there?
More people are coming in than they can take out.
So on Sunday, when that line was forming to get everyone into the Superdome, that was well organized. They had people checking.
Yeah.
And all those people, I'm assuming now, are just gone saying, hey, This is too dangerous for me.
Mm-hmm.
So the people technically have taken over the Superdome is what I'm thinking?
Yeah. They still have National Guard troops around the Superdome trying to keep people organized, but the numbers are ridiculous. I mean, these guys are so outnumbered. You saw that huge walkway to the entrance of the Superdome. I was watching that last night, just packed with thousands upon thousands of people waiting to get on these buses, and it was a joke. You saw thousands of people, and then you'd see a few buses pull up. People, I guess, were getting on the buses as the buses pulled away, and it did not make a dent. You could not even tell anyone had left that crowd. And this was supposed to get people out. This would have to go on for weeks before you would actually see results.
And a lot of those people would be dead.
Right. And in the meantime, more people are showing up. So more people are showing up than are leaving. They're not getting food and water.
And the body count's just going up now fast, because now you got people that haven't had water or food in days.
Yeah.
So...
You got people in these hot, stifling conditions, dehydrating. The elderly and the kids are dropping dead.
Dude, I can't take the kids crying on TV anymore.
Yeah.
It's fucking brutal. Fucking brutal, because they have no clue what the hell's going on.
I just don't get it.
On any level.
I tell you, one comedy show I'd recommend sometime soon. If anyone can get a chance to go see Paul Mooney, if you ever want to see Paul Mooney, this is probably a great time to do it.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I'm sure he's got a nice, vicious tirade.
Yeah.
Let's say hi to Pete on Long Island. Pete, what's up?
Morning, boys. I don't know if anybody caught, was it Greta Van Iceface last night? She was interviewing a doctor who said they had 6 murders, 12 rapes, 1 suicide, an MP shot all inside the Superdome. This doctor said, the last thing he said is, he is not going back in there. It's too dangerous.
Yeah, well, a lot of the people that were sent to help, not a lot, because we don't have numbers here. We're not going to try to, spin shit, but we've been hearing a lot of the people that went down there to try to save people are like, screw this.
Yeah.
You know, when you got a guy with an AK-47 or whatever it was shooting at you.
Yeah.
Well, CNN has got a crawl going on right now. There's sniper fire with... Touch it out.
All right.
And so the troops entered to stop looters.
Yeah.
You have to stop looting, but it's amazing how troops should enter and bring supplies first before they fucking stop. Looting is important. You got to stop it, but property can't be protected above getting 30,000 people.
I think the reality is they don't even know where to begin. They don't know where to begin. They're trying to save lives, and then they got the looting, and then it's crazy.
You can drop shit in, too.
To at least
you can drop food and water in.
You think that'll calm people down a little bit?
Absolutely. It'll keep them breathing until you come up with a better idea, perhaps.
All right. Do we have that doctor audio from last night? Yeah, listen to this. I did hear this.
We're joined now on the phone by Dr. Charles Burnell. He's an emergency room doctor who has been working inside the Superdome. Was it worse than what you expected when you first set foot in that Superdome? I realize, with the level of violence, it seems like everyone's worst nightmare. But were you expecting that, or was it beyond what you can even put in words?
The situation there, the first odor is that of urine and feces, and when you walk in the place, it's a very unstable, very high tension, very dangerous environment. And from the time we were in there, from the people grabbing on us and trying to get attention and trying to get help and trying to show us their loved ones that needed help, to the time we got out of there and could maintain any safe distance at all. But that barrier was completely broken. Every time there was an incident that broke out, National Guard had to tend to that and diffuse that situation, which left us uncovered the entire time. And it got to the point where, as medical personnel, we had to make a decision of whether or not to stay without protection or without adequate protection for some time and put ourselves at risk and continue to try to take care of these people, or whether we needed to get out.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Wow,
Man.
wow. We got more from the doctor?
The good doctor.
Were there actually weapons brought into the Superdome? I mean, what's the actual violence inside the Superdome?
Well, we had several murders. We had 3 murders last night. We had a total of 6 rapes last night. We had the day before, I think there were 3 or 4 murders. There were half a dozen rapes that night. We had 1 suicide that night. Last night we had 1 military police shot in an incident through the leg, which we were able to medevac out in the middle of the night. And that has been our biggest problem, was getting the medevacs out, because we just could not logistically get those people out of there quick enough. All of our centers and all of our beds were overtaken with sick patients, And again, we ran out of resources. We did not have oxygen. We did not have any medications to speak of except for some breathing medicines, which we couldn't even use because we had no oxygen to run the machines.
New Orleans mayor leashes out at feds over lack of... lashes, Jesus. New Orleans mayor lashes out at feds over lack of aid. That's the latest headline.
Did you see the chant?
Help us.
Fuck you, Ray.
Oh,
Fuck you, Ray, on CNN. They were showing that a couple of times, actually.
Ray.
Yeah, the mayor over there of New Orleans. Yeah, there he is. Ray. They were chanting, fuck you, Ray, and CNN just let it fly. They're letting a lot of curses fly on this one. I don't think the FCC's going to be cracking down on the news organizations.
Looks like local government was too busy looking good on those damn floats every year. They're not doing much behind the scenes to make sure something like this wouldn't,
well, you got to admit,
wouldn't get out of control.
The local guys, like what is the mayor supposed to do when the city he runs, he runs his business from is destroyed? All he can do is ask for help.
Right.
And he hasn't really gotten it.
All right, we got one more clip from the doctor.
Are you going back?
Not until there is a lot better security down there, and I'm not putting my life in that type of a dangerous situation. I would love to help out to try to evacuate as many of these people as possible, especially the ones with medical necessity. But until I can ensure that I'm not putting my life in a significantly dangerous situation as I was before, I will not be back in the Superdome.
Doctor, thank you very much.
I just want to jump in real fast. Dallas has offered the Reunion Arena?
Yeah.
What is that?
I don't know.
Oh, I just got a thought here, that's all.
What?
They're offering up these like stadiums and arenas and domes that they don't need for real sporting events.
For real sporting events, yeah.
God
forbid you put off a game or two.
It's like I'm seeing names of arenas and stuff that
never heard of it.
And stadiums. Hey, it's great, obviously, but it's like what? Who plays at that one?
Last night I saw Detroit's mayor got on and offered up Detroit, to which I guess some of the survivors said, "I'm not crazy." You don't want to. But it was kind of refreshing to see a black mayor of a city get up there and say, "Hey, these are our people. We're absolutely throwing the doors open for them." I'm noticing another silence, not just the administration making up excuses for where the help is, but where are the black leaders? Where's all these black Baptist churches that have these buses, have room in their churches to bring these people there and put them up? How about 10 families in a church to put them up all over the country, everywhere? Get a caravan going of your church buses, get down there and start picking some of these people up and giving them a place to stay.
Just the fact that in a federal disaster we have to start thinking of church buses.
Right.
It's just
I know, it's ridiculous.
Horrible how
it's ridiculous.
This was handled.
Well,
but not only is there a silence from the government, but even the black leadership. That's why I'm saying it's not so much a race thing as it is a class thing. Because these people are just looked at as trash, and even people in the black community are going, we'll see what the government does, before we step in and pick up the ball here.
Doctors don't feel protected enough to take care of people. I mean, how do you not have a couple of armed guards around a doctor?
Yeah.
It just stinks.
We got a couple people on the phones. That's Sherry in Vegas. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't even know where to start. There's so much stupidity going on in the show this morning.
Oh.
Let's take one example.
All right, your public speaking ability. Let's start there.
Out there in that open area in that field. Well, Jesus Christ, if there was an open field, there would be people in it. If you drop it, you kill the people. If you drop it, you break the water.
Oh, shut up.
Anthony, if you're so fucking smart, why are you a goddamn radio host? Run for president, for Christ's sake.
Are you dude. Hey. Are you actually holding on to the thing, you can't criticize the president because you can't do it? Are you actually saying that, you fucking grown man? Is that your argument? If you know better, you should be president, you dope? Did he hang up?
Yeah, I didn't do that.
And,
no, you didn't.
And you know something?
Figures.
Douchebag, I've seen plenty of open real estate where thousands of people are. Open grass fields. These are the people that came out of the water, douchebag. He's saying, where do you drop them? There's no dry ground. What, did you watch the news at all? Have you seen the scenes of thousands of people and plenty of dry ground around them? That's where they were walking to, asshole. dry ground. What an ass.
The funniest part of that call, he called you a liberal.
I know.
He didn't. I don't know if he got to that point, but it was
Dude.
under the comments, and I'm like, wow. People
I am the furthest thing from a liberal. The furthest thing from a liberal. But people don't seem to understand. It doesn't mean that I have to accept everything the right feeds you. That the fact that you can't. There are people that feel they cannot criticize the president, or they will be this liberal Democrat. So they just blindly follow. Look at what he does and never ever criticize it. And anyone that does criticize him is a unpatriotic piece of shit that should be beaten and thrown out of the country.
Well, here's the bottom line. This administration, and I've been pretty pro-Bush, has handled this situation fucking despicably. And to the mushmouth disaster that just called in, you're a fucking idiot and you don't know what you're talking about. And that's all I have to say. You're dumb and I'm not.
I love the comment that the state is responsible and the federal government isn't responsible. What? What?
Then why the fuck pay federal taxes? Why are we paying federal taxes? Why am I talking with apple in my mouth?
Oh. And once the state asks for help, then it's the federal government's responsibility. It's not. This guy is probably talking about the fact that the federal government troops cannot swoop into your state uninvited and start working on things. That is true. But once the state asks, which they did immediately, then the federal government, yes, it is their responsibility to come in and help. Asshead.
All right, front page.
You're not the president. How do you know?
Why don't you run for president? By gum, he's given me an idea.
Shit. Front pages across America. The Houston Chronicle. A desperate SOS.
Yeah.
Daytona Beach. News Journal. Anarchy. Boston Herald. While Katrina hits home at the pumps, gas panic.
How will it affect the Sox in the playoffs?
Exactly.
Jerk off, Boston.
The Columbus Dispatch, City in Chaos, Detroit News, Unbelievable, Philadelphia Inquirer, Desperate SOS again, Miami Herald, Boiling Point.
Boiling Point.
And Arkansas, A City Beyond Desperation. Some of the headlines across America in the newspapers. Everyone talking about this.
Everyone's desperate.
Michael Brown, head of FEMA on Today's Show, Anthony. Disputes reports of response times with the National Guard.
Michael Brown runs the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA. Mr. Brown, good morning.
Good morning, Katie.
We're hearing just terrible reports coming from New Orleans. It's anarchy down there. What is going on? Why hasn't the response been faster, and why aren't people getting the help they need?
Katie, people are getting the help they need, and I understand the frustrations that are being expressed by some of the local emergency managers and the mayor.
Gotta love the Today Show.
Was that the Today Show?
Yeah.
People are getting the help they need. Help! Help!
Yeah,
help!
Cue video. All I hear is help in the background. Wow.
And this is a nice picture, by the way, of Condoleezza Rice Wednesday night, because she took in Spamalot here in the city.
Are you kidding
me?
me?
No, there's a great picture of her walking out Wednesday. From Spamalot.
Wednesday, she went to the Broadway production of Spamalot here in Secretary of State.
Wednesday was at Spamalot. I don't know any better, though. I'm not Secretary of State. Maybe you need to see a Monty Python comedy musical.
Instead of
you know how hard it is to get tickets?
That's probably a good point.
That's
why they're all fighting down there. You don't understand. They want Spamalot tickets.
It's a very hard ticket, Jimmy.
Yes.
As South drowns, Rice soaks in New York. That is a great headline. Unbelievable.
Anyway, back to the tape here, the Today Show. Let's explain what's going on here. The video they're playing is this guy is saying, that help is on the way and all that.
Yeah.
The situation is getting slightly better. The video they're playing is from days ago.
Oh, really?
Just to really hammer their point home and really make this guy squirm. Let's get back to it.
Frustrations that are being expressed by some of the local emergency managers and the mayor and others. This is an ongoing disaster. This disaster did not just end when Katrina left and went on to become a big thunderstorm in the Ohio Valley somewhere. And what we're doing here is we have ongoing relief efforts. For example, the Superdome. We're feeding those people. We have truckloads and convoys of supplies going there. And I think what's happening is we continue to see the disaster unfold, and every urban search and rescue team is literally going from house to house to house and then back again.
Let me ask you about
Sure.
local law enforcement. Apparently, they have not been able to maintain order in New Orleans. Some kind of a much stronger federal response is needed. When will the National Guard be deployed, and when will they get there, and how many?
The National Guard has been deployed. The President has given me authority to tap into the military, and I have General Honoré of the 1st Army here, and he's doing an incredibly good job under very difficult circumstances. We're ramping up the numbers of National Guard, the numbers of boots on the ground, and by Sunday I'll have 30,000 National Guard troops to secure the city, make it safe for my rescue and urban search and rescue and medical teams to get in there and help people, and also the relief teams that are helping do the evacuations. So we're securing the city. The General's doing a great job, and we're going to fix that problem and stop that lawlessness.
One of the funny things I saw last night on the news was Anderson Cooper interviewing this family that had found their baby, and their last name is like Breaux. You know how that's pronounced down there? Bro. And he actually said, "Good luck, Mr. Bro," to the guy.
I wish we had that.
Yeah, it was. I was roaring. I wish the Mister wasn't in there, but it was. Good luck, Mr. Bro.
That's very good. Got to know the show to understand that one. All right, Michael Brown, why response has taken so long yet?
Mr. Brown, I don't mean to belabor the point, but we knew for several days that this hurricane was going to hit. To say that by Sunday you'll have 30,000 National Guardsmen on the ground, it seems like a pretty long lag time in terms of actually having them on site.
Well, again, it's a growing and continuing disaster. You know, before the hurricane struck, I came down here personally and rode the storm out in Baton Rouge. Of course, I have not near the problems that some of these disaster victims had, so I'm not trying to make a comparison there. But we got here. We had all of our rescue teams, the medical teams pre-deployed, ready to go. The hurricane hit. The disaster continued to unfold, and as it unfolded, we continued to bring more and more teams in here. I have to tell you, though, that the lawlessness and the crime that's occurring did surprise us, and we are bringing in additional National Guard troops to secure that so that we can continue the rescue and relief efforts.
I haven't seen Boston opening up their doors to any refugees.
They're actually busing people from Boston down to the Superdome.
I believe I got Boston's response to that.
All right.
Food and water getting to the Superdome.
What about simple things like food and water? It seems that many people still haven't gotten those essential supplies. Why is that?
Well, that's a frustrating issue for me because, I mean, I can sit here and read off all the stats of, 214 truckloads of water going to New Orleans. Each truckload can provide water for 5,000 people. We've provided food to the people in the convention center so that they've gotten at least one, if not two meals every single day. We're doing that not just in New Orleans, but throughout Alabama and Mississippi, too. So I get frustrated, as everyone else does, when they hear the stories, because what we're doing is literally going individual to individual, and as more individuals continue to manifest themselves as they come out of their homes or wherever it's safe that they've been hiding away from the storm, we have to get to those individuals on an individual basis and get food to them too. It's just a massive process that we're undertaking here to take care of every single one of those individuals.
Man, how many thousands of people are going to end up dead from this? In New Orleans alone.
Well, I don't want to give out any numbers right now, Opie, but I would say many, many thousands.
I don't even like to speculate because I'm not the president.
Right. I ain't the president. You know where they're going to find a lot of dead people? In those houses. Once that water level's brought down, you're just going to find some bloated bodies in there. A lot of these people, you got to figure, a lot of people, especially the old and the very young, weren't able to climb up into their attics at all. So they probably just died on the first floors. The ones that could climb into their attics, think of how many people probably couldn't cut through their roof in time.
Suffocated
with the stifling heat. You know what an attic is like when it's 95 degrees outside? You don't last in there very long at all. And unless you have some kind of tools up there to cut a hole in there or are able to lift a vent off of the roof or even know that you can do something like that, you're done. So I think that's where they're going to find a lot of these people in their houses.
Man. One more question to Michael Brown here, head of FEMA, on the Today Show a little while ago.
And finally, Mr. Brown, what can you say to people listening right now in terms of when the situation will be brought under control?
I think we'll start seeing dramatic improvements over the next several days. The military, I think, will be an incredibly good asset for us to be able to use here. All the assets of the Department of Homeland Security are here to be able to help us. I think we're going to see, again, as the disaster begins to settle down, the floodwaters begin to recede, and we begin to find out exactly where people are and get into those neighborhoods again, house by house. I think we'll see a dramatic improvement over the next several days.
Oh, we can only hope, right?
Yeah. Oh, is that one of the explosions happening?
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks like a big fire.
Looks like a massive fire.
Some kind of chemical plant seems to have exploded. That's what... Just throw everything in there. It's like a Schwarzenegger movie now. Forget it. Is that thing
it's the
again?
Same thing that fucking fell yesterday, just fucking fell again, and I have a boot on my foot. Cocksucker.
You have a what on your foot?
Holy shit, you're wearing a booty.
Why are you wearing a ski boot?
Because he's got an injured ankle.
What fell?
Same thing that fell yesterday.
What is it? Because I can't see it from my angle.
It's a panel underneath there.
Oh, it's a panel? I thought it was that big, like, pylon or whatever.
That thing is huge.
Is it?
Oh. There you go. Fucking fix it.
Don't kick it with your bad foot, Jimmy.
It's like a hatch. It's a big hatch.
What the heck is that?
It's the second time it almost hit my foot. Can they fucking screw it in?
Jeez.
Well, they're studying it.
Yeah, what's your booty for?
We got someone looking at it right now through the door.
little boot.
My foot's all fucked up.
They're
Is
studying.
it all fucked up, or?
Yeah. I almost need surgery, but I don't. I'm close.
Chris, what's going on?
I wish you guys would go back to a comedy show and quit being so serious. I can't believe I actually agree with Smith, but this is killing me.
Shut up, stupid.
Chris.
Well, I mean, come on.
Shut up. We know what you mean. We don't care.
Did you listen to yesterday's show?
Yeah.
Okay, now at the beginning of the show, we talked about what is, let me think, the most important story in the country right now for about an hour. And then, didn't we move on to other things?
But I dropped.
Didn't we move, sir, didn't we move on to other things?
Do it the second and third hour.
No, it's very difficult to come on and do a show when a story like this is happening and not talk about it. Don't you understand how this works?
It's front page news of every paper in the country.
It's very hard to do a show that talks about current events and not hit on this first.
I'm not trying to flame you guys, but
no, you
when
are.
I drive to work, I listen to it all day at work. I listen to MSNBC, all of these different things, and that's all it is.
So what do you want us to do? You want us to shove wiffle ball bats up girls' twats today for you?
Absolutely.
Oh, you're a douchebag. You don't get it.
Well, if you don't like, dude, put on something else. Put in a comedy tape. I don't know what to tell you.
Until we touch on something else.
It's one of the biggest stories that hit America and
just
who knows, probably our lifetimes.
We had fun yesterday with the Star Wars guy, and then I enjoyed the conversation we had about Jimmy's little love letters and walking around with the stereo, with the radio, the boombox, and then experiences like trying to ask girls out. We touched on other things, and it was very fun yesterday. I listened to the replay. But there is no way we can get on the air at 7 in the morning here in New York, and after watching the news and reading the papers all day, and not hit on this. Don't you get it?
Some people will just never get it. Some people will never get what this show's about. Mike in Georgia, what's up?
What's up, man? I just wanted to bitch a little bit about some of these assholes that are calling in, fucking running their mouth. Like, you guys are giving people a good venue to vent and rant a little bit, but until these motherfuckers' opinions mean something, they should shut the fuck up.
Unless they want a phony zoo show where we come in and we're wacky and zany no matter what's happening in the news. I mean, that's not this show. This show is what we're thinking about on a daily basis and what's affecting us and I believe the rest of the country that's listening, and we talk about it. It's not all about a fucking dick joke when shit's going on.
And those zoo crews won't even give you a real opinion either way. They're like, no. You got to take care of those people down there. Let's just hope they're okay. Hey, listen, coming up, we got the weather and the news. They're fucking fraudulent on every level, not just comedically.
Is that what he wants? Us to just not even touch on it and just come up with jokes and gags? That's phony. We're not phony. Sorry.
This is what's hitting us today. This is what's hitting us. Sorry, we saw dead people on the news last night. We're a little bit affected.
I don't think people get the show sometimes. I think they think it's a pure like comedy show because we goof around 99% of the time. That 1% of the time where we talk about shit that's affecting us, they don't get that.
There's always been a serious angle to this radio show, and that's what amazes me when the critics out there, attack us and our own listeners attack us. It's like. If you've been listening since the beginning, there's always been a serious angle. Not a huge chunk of the show. I'm not going to try to pat ourselves on the back here. But when it's deserved, we go down the serious road for a while. We always have done that. But, article after article, shock jocks. All they're good for is having a couple have sex in St. Pat's. Yeah. The show is so much more than that. So much more. And even though one of the biggest stories is going on that's really serious, yesterday we still squeezed in probably over 2 hours of comedy. Probably
2 hours of the funny, I like to call it. The funny.
But, man, we have a huge listener base, and they're affected by what's going on in front of them on TV. That's all. Look, every channel has it. Every newspaper on the front page. Here it is. Kentucky, desperation. A cauldron of anarchy. That's coming in from the Star Tribune. Like Twin Cities. Los Angeles Times. New Orleans slides into chaos. U.S. scrambles to send troops.
New York Post. Angelina Jolie loses shoe in hotel.
Angelino?
Even the Post is... Did I say that?
Oh, did you?
Angelo.
I got to stand up now. Even the Post has a serious headline today. Look at their front page. They're not even fucking around.
Did I say Angelino?
Angelino.
Yeah. Right.
Yes, you did.
Good.
That was cute.
All right, we'll make everybody happy. I don't understand why the government can't help these people and get the supplies that they really need down to the people that need it.
Well, I'll tell you this, Ant. I'll tell you this one thing. If we had the flying cars they promised us when we were kids,
everyone could fly.
They would have been able to hover all over the damn place, dropping supplies.
Here's Steve rescuing people.
They wouldn't need.
There you go. And another person saved.
You wouldn't need dry roads if we had our flying vehicles that were promised to us.
Yeah.
They could have just been hovering above.
Almost every story on the front page of the Times is about this. Every story on the front page of the Times.
New York Times has a picture of a body just floating there dead. San Francisco Chronicle. I took your A that you missed on your joke and edited it to Frisco.
Angelino Jolie.
I just said San Francisco. Anarchy, anger, desperation. That's their headline today. Washington Post front page. A city of despair and lawlessness. Seattle Times. Stricken Coast asks, where is the help? And Dallas simply has SOS. You guys hear Wolf Blitzer last night?
No.
With his little slip up?
Wolf Blitzer. Oh, I did hear that one. Yes, I did.
It was like a Freudian thing, right? He's in the middle of it. He's like, and they're saying that a lot of victims, I love cock, are not getting exactly what it is they need. Just kind of slipped out.
I like Wolf. What is it called? The Situation Room. The Situation Room. That's what. That's his show. And he's got what I call the wall of holy shit behind him. It's about 8 screens with all kinds of horrific video playing behind him. His wall of holy shit.
I like that.
And he, one of the entertaining things about it last night, he was doing a report. He's talking right into the camera. He's got the wall of holy shit behind him. And one of the frames had that very angry black guy that walked right up to the camera and started yelling and cursing. And it looked like he was ready to attack Wolf because he was kind of superimposed behind him on the screen.
Yeah.
Wolf, get out of the way! I also got a note last night, this one from Rick Delgado. He emailed me.
Our old producer?
Yep.
Is this real?
Yeah.
Okay.
It just says, Ant, had a great idea. I'm getting the band back together. No, not really. Like he's goofing on getting the band back and putting another song back together. And I told him he probably shouldn't make a song about this.
That is so weird. I wonder why he only communicates with you now. That's very, very strange.
I said, how are things going in Fagtown? He said, Fagtown is actually pretty cool. It's in San Francisco now. Nice city to live in, and the weather rocks, but the Asians are still out to get me fired.
He's such an ass. He's such an ass. Well, here's Wolf Blitzer last night from the what room?
The Situation Room.
With the wall of what? I love that.
The wall of holy shit!
And, you know, the news is milking this. They got the dramatic music now going into commercials.
Oh, with the photo montage.
But they're still going into commercials, you know, the montage and the music's a lot.
There's a lot of oil company commercials on during this.
Yeah.
I don't know what it means, but a lot of, like, Exxon and other BP. Like, and they get these people there that I guess work for the company, or they're actors that are supposed to look like they work for it, and they're just talking about how good they are to the environment and how they're looking for other resources and stuff like that. I don't know why, but there's a lot of them.
Here's Wolf Blitzer. Listen closely.
As much as you see that picture, though, you simply get chills every time you see these poor individuals. As Jack Cafferty just pointed out, so tragically, so many of these people, almost all of them that we see, are so poor and they are so black, and this is going to raise lots of questions for people who are watching this story unfold. We'll take a quick break. More of our special coverage right after this.
There was a pause there where he went, uh-oh.
Did I just say so black?
So black.
Jack Cafferty was on just before him, and he was talking about how these people are poor and black. And he goes, and they are so poor. He goes, you see them and just a sea of black faces. And then Wolf got on, and he was like, so poor. So black. These motherfuckers are like charcoal there. Jack.
Need to get some white blood into these folks.
So black.
So black.
There's some whitey running around in there, though. You see him every so often.
Here and there.
I saw one being carried away.
Yeah.
With bruises on him.
Well, there's one on the cover of the Daily News today. There's a white guy. Daily News photographer captures the horror outside Superdome as a beaten man is carried away. Beatings, lootings, gunfire, rape, all the features down there. This guy, man, is he beat up. He's unconscious. They're carrying him off. Doesn't it look like he's got one of those little SS things on his arm? Those little, what is that? That little SS lightning bolt? On his arm? Yeah, this might have been a, yo, shut the fuck up. Maybe this guy should have kept his shirt on.
Yeah.
Maybe not expose that tat. Yeah, the South. A lot of fun down there.
Venezuela is helping us out.
Uh-oh.
Cool. Look at that man's teeth. Oh.
Yeah, there are just some really foul people down there.
See, this is Baton Rouge footage. Go back to New Orleans.
Baton Rouge.
Turn the channel.
This is one of the shelters. They're feeding people now.
All right, Anthony, this just came in. ABC News report on rising gas prices.
It is out here on the highways of America that for the millions of Americans who are not directly impacted by Katrina, it is perhaps most clear that this has become a national disaster. In places closest to the hurricane zone, there are still long lines for gas. In Mobile, Alabama, customers waited only to find out the pumps had gone dry.
Out of fuel.
Governors in some states are warning gas station owners against price gouging. At this station in Louisiana, a reporter found an owner lowering prices only when the camera got there. In Connecticut, one station stopped selling gas because of the high cost of bringing it in.
We're just taking a stand against price gouging, and we won't do it. We won't be a party to it.
Drivers across the country, including New York City, are fed up with higher prices.
They're trying to blame it on a hurricane
that's in New Orleans, and we're in New York. 14 gallons, $48.
Too quickly, too fast, too expensive, too unexpectedly.
How worried should you be about Labor Day travel? Experts say there will be fuel for planes and gas for buses, but if you're driving yourself, prepare to pay.
When you're talking about 20 cents, 40 cents in a period of a week, I mean, gas prices may well go over $4 in some parts of the country. This is going to really hit people in the wallet when they're at the pump.
All right, so the big question is, when will the prices come down? The experts say the key to that is the refineries. Refineries are places that take crude oil and turn it into gas that we can all use. 8 refineries were shut down by Katrina. At this point, Charlie, only one of them has plans to go back into operation, and that could take 2 weeks. Back to you.
There you have it. Latest on the gas prices.
This is 5 Glubs in New York. Funny name, but you're an ass. He goes, Anthony, you can criticize the president all you want. Stop acting like you're such a free thinker and everyone is sheep. Your criticisms don't hold up, though, if they rely on visceral populist rhetoric and dull cynicism. That isn't my argument. My argument holds up. It's not based on visceral populist rhetoric and dull cynicism. It's based on the fact that thousands of people don't have food and water.
Now, that whole criticism is based on the fact he wanted to say those words and he couldn't figure out how to get them in a sentence.
We get it. You're smart.
You.
Yeah. We get it. You have a thesaurus.
What?
A thesaurus.
I'm criticizing the administration for not acting quickly enough to get these people the essentials. I'm not even talking about getting them all out. I'm not saying why aren't they all in hotel rooms right now getting room service. I'm talking about food and water for these people that they know where they are. They know where thousands of them are sitting right now, and they've gone days and days and days without the essentials. Why is that populist rhetoric and dull cynicism, you ass? And I can criticize the president all I want. Of course I can.
He's been dying to say dull cynicism.
Visceral populist rhetoric.
No one talks like that. You 5 Glubs.
Yeah.
You enjoy Yates humor.
Yeah. You know what that post needs at the end? One man! Shut up, visceral populist rhetoric man!
Bill Burr in studio once again. You picked a great week to do the show with us.
This has been the worst week trying to hype my shows. Everywhere you just can't escape this story.
No.
Yeah, and we have
the horror, the destruction. Coming up at Caroline's this week, we got a comedian.
Right.
And the funny.
Bringing the funny into the show today, Bill Burr.
How was it last night?
It was decent.
Good.
There was
Hey,
some
there
people
you
up
go.
here from New Orleans. This
Really?
guy was psyched, though. Everyone was giving him free shit.
Wow.
Yeah, he went to, you want to buy a CD? I'm like, oh, you're from New Orleans? Here, take it. He's like, no, I can't. And he's like taking the CDs, telling me, went around, he went to go buy some expensive cigars. You just had to say he's from New Orleans. It's just like...
That's what it's all about.
I think that's the thing. Work on a Creole accent.
That's
go
what,
around
you
New
know,
York.
for a while it was, if you were from Oklahoma City, you got the free stuff, and then if you were a 9/11, if you were a fireman in New York City, I mean, you carte blanche, you get whatever you want. And now, you
It's
just
hip-
say you're
hip-
from New
yeah,
Orleans.
it's hip to be from
The
New Orleans.
disaster du jour. Well, there was one guy, I guess, drove up in, he took a
I'm
cab.
practicing. What the hell? Give it a shot.
He was a cab driver down in New Orleans, and he drove his cab up north.
I saw that guy,
yeah.
too.
And they're offering him jobs to be a cab driver, and
yeah,
amazing what they'll do for you if you're in a disaster and you make it out.
More front pages coming in. The Chicago Sun-Times, Chaos and Misery. Des Moines, Desperation Grows, yes. A lot of papers going with that angle.
Dude, it's not even a murder or the looting, it's the rape.
Rape.
That's just really just taking it to the not funny.
Yeah, that
It's
just, I mean,
just like-
that's not even about, well, I need shoes, or this will blow over at some point and I need a plasma TV, or food. That's just brutal.
Yeah.
I mean,
What a
because the
sex
person...
drive, huh?
Yeah.
Yep, your chest in shit-filled water, and you're still checking out.
You still, like, wanna get laid
I'm
out.
on that. Give it up!
Think of how awful that is. I mean, rape's got to be bad enough. But in that circumstance, you've already gone through hell. You've made it, it's like, oh my, I'm being raped now?
I know.
I was just,
Listen, you know, it's got to be bad enough. You know, in room temperature with plenty of food in the fridge.
Right. With the air conditioner on.
Unsettling.
Yeah. Nice TV's on or something. Just anything to distract you.
I don't think people down there want to have just regular sex after not showering for 5 days. Can you imagine?
It's just a mess.
I need all nice smells. I'm a nice smell guy.
Smell of shit.
You think they should hang up some of those trees, those little car fresheners in the Superdome?
I can't imagine, man. You got to be a sick fuck.
Well, I think that's what they're getting at. Yeah, if you're raping in this,
they're
saying a lot of the people are drug addicts that don't have their methadone, don't have their heroin anymore, because there's a huge drug problem down there, and now they're just freaking out and going crazy.
What do you give them, cigarettes? No one's smoking, probably. It's got to be awful.
Yeah. Yeah, imagine your cigarettes running out. Oof, you got to rape.
You're on your last...
Shit.
You're on your last one, and 30 black fellas come up and want it. You know, guys, it's my last.
Yeah, and you make it on the front page of the Daily News.
Let's go to Dustin, who's in Ohio. Dustin!
Hey, what's up, fellas?
Hey, man.
Hey, happy birthday, Jimmy.
Oh, thank you, man. It's kind of being overridden by other stuff, but no, September 2nd is my birthday.
I just wanted to kiss you guys' ass for a second and kind of veer off this whole path that everybody else is going on. You guys are great.
Thanks.
I've been listening to you guys since you were on NEW, and all these guys are assholes, man. That's all I wanted to say.
All right.
Give me a car crash.
No, that was fine. Thank you. Theo, what's up? Virginia.
Hey, guys. Love the show.
All right.
I was thinking about the whole, looting aspect, and you guys could probably help me out with this. Why do we even care if they're looting? Isn't all this stuff, already written off insurance-wise, and couldn't we just let them run around and loot all they want so that we could focus more on saving people?
I think it's about restoring order. I think that's more... It's not even the money or the monopoly someone's going to steal. It's about just restoring just complete anarchy.
Law!
Oh, well, I don't know. I look at it and I keep thinking that they, if you're busting somebody off to Houston, they got a plasma screen, make them drop it, before they get on the bus.
Well, I don't think they're bringing big screen television.
Oh, my God, no. One of the reporters saw a plasma TV just sitting in the middle of Bourbon Street. And, this guy was amazed, where do they think they were walking off to with this thing,
Right.
They could see, they even could see, the small stuff, maybe sneakers and clothes and whatever. Yeah. But they were amazed. It was a big screen plasma TV just sitting in the middle of Bourbon Street because they got the idea to take it and then realized, well, yeah, where are we bringing this thing?
I don't have a wall anymore to hang this on.
Yeah. And you can see who's been looting because they're getting into these helicopter rescue things and they're wearing Armani suit jackets, dirty white socks and Armani jackets.
Plus, where are you gonna bring it? You're gonna show up to the shelter. You got a Circuit City shopping cart. This is all I can say from my house. Everything's still in the box.
In the boxes.
Yes. You just got to raise it work, man,
Let the Schwoogies loot.
Oh, man.
Jesus.
What the hell is a Schwoogie? Is that
I think it's a derogatory term for an African American.
All we know is that our general manager in Boston used that